Yeah, if she's up for it. Fair. Fair enough.
This is a pokeroo situation, isn't it?
Hmm.
On Earth, the year is 2896. The best thing to be said about the year, on Earth, is how easily 2896 rolls off the tongue. But our story isn't about Earth. Our story isn't even in the same galaxy as Earth. Not even close. Our story began on a ship in the far reaches of space, in a cluster of galaxies that you have never heard of before. Somewhere in that cluster was a Class II starship sailing out amongst the asteroids, all thick alloy plates and lightly crooked engines. Aboard that ship, we found our faithful crew. Halifax DeWitt, the ace pilot, Ro Vatse, the brilliant scientist, Talon, the crafty engineer, Halcyon Hulson, the invaluable medic, and of course, Farah Lark, the crew's captain and fearless leader. Farah also has her own crew she has been traveling with since before the primary crew came along. Merrick, her second in command, Gammon, the ship's muscle, Hugo, a researcher, and Vexius, who lives within the ship's systems themselves. As humans, we often think of ourselves as the pioneers of space travel, but that's only because until we were ready, the real pioneers of space travel left humans alone. As such, the crew of the Freya consists of a diverse assortment of species, most of whom are very far from human. The Radiant are a race of androgynous, warfaring people, whose skin is varied shades of metallic colors. The Radiant have battle in their blood, and aside from shading of their skin, are nearly identical, indistinguishable from one another. So, they scar their own bodies to give themselves identifying features. Gammon, the ship's muscle, is a Radiant. The Kelsara are a race of incredibly diverse people that are typically only a few feet tall, and have many bug-like qualities. On their home planet, they must convince predators they're too dangerous to eat, and therefore, they are covered in colorful carapaces and long, functionally useless horns. They prefer to be farther from trouble, and handle their problems cleverly and diplomatically. Hugo, the researcher who works under Farah, is a Kelsara with a colorful grasshopper aesthetic. Humans are humans as we know them, but that comes with caveats. Humans weren't expected to become major players in the game of space travel, so they had to use underhanded tactics to take it by storm. Just as humans you may know, they are ambitious and sometimes brutally dangerous to get what they want. Not all humans are like this, but the most famous became warlords or revolutionaries, renegades, criminals, and clawed their way to a position of power. As such, humans get a bad reputation that their ancestors have earned them. Some crews won't hire a human onto their ship because they believe it to be bad luck. Merrick Fuller, Farah's first in command, is a human. The Torvani are a race of semi-aquatic creatures. While they can't breathe underwater, they can hold their breath for tremendous amounts of time and are built for survival, as they were on the bottom of the food chain on their own water-dominated planet. A species of prey more than predator, the Torvani have fish-like eyes on the sides of their heads, pale blue skin, and a sleek form adept at moving quickly more than withstanding large amounts of physical force. Science Officer Ro is of the Torvani people. The Malleus are a race of beings that were built to travel the stars long before technology allowed it. Their skin is covered in thick armor-like plating, jet black and able to absorb energy from light and heat. They can survive in absolute zero temperatures by entering a sort of cryosleep, which great amounts of heat awakens them from. As such, they have no need to eat or breathe and have no nose or mouth. Most modern Malleus have lost some of their natural biological abilities as space travel developed, evolving into something more fit for travel within starships. Now, they wear complicated neural masks that translate their thoughts into sound, allowing them to communicate with the other races. That said, they still have their old sign languages that let them speak secretly to one another if they wish. Halifax the pilot and Halcyon the medic are both Malleus, and can often be seen exchanging furtive messages, usually of annoyance at the incompetence of others. The Calasti are a mysterious creature that look, and often act, exactly like cats. The primary difference is that they are highly intelligent and capable of speech, and they can manipulate gravity at a personal level, allowing them to operate machinery and mechanisms, but also to walk on walls and ceilings. However, they can only control gravity if gravity is present. In zero-G situations, they become nothing more than talking cats. Talon, the ship's engineer, is a Calasti. And finally, the Lorens. The Lorens were the first civilization to reach space, and as such, the most widely spread amongst the stars. You'd be hard-pressed to find a planet that's part of intergalactic civilization that doesn't have at least a small amount of Lorens present. Lorens are built similarly to humans, but they have purple skin, and their eyes have a natural glowing radiance to them, as if they were destined for the stars. Our fearless captain, Farah Lark, is half Loren and half human. The only core race not represented on Farah's crew are the Cyoxi. Cyoxi outgrew their weak physical forms long ago, uploaded themselves into computer chips, and grew themselves incredibly powerful bio-cybernetic bodies. They're typically identifiable because they are bigger and stronger, and have physical features that are outlandish compared to the other core races. That said, these chemically perfected bodies take an immense amount of power to keep functioning, meaning Cyoxi either sleep very long hours or eat incredible amounts of food. And of course, destroying a Cyoxi's microchip will kill them. Vexius is not a Cyoxi, but a race of creature nobody seems to have heard of. He manifests as a cloud of plasma, but can move freely into electronic systems that aren't too heavily protected, allowing him to function as a voice for the ship, among other things. When our crew's journey began, they were immediately faced with a mystery that as of yet remains unsolved. The Freya answered the distress call for a giant warship, seemingly unoccupied. When they arrived and scanned it, its systems hummed to life, and it opened fire on the Freya. They escaped by the skin of their teeth with a badly damaged ship to an uncharted world. Since then, the Freya and its crew have been soaring through space on wild adventures, and have made a number of interesting discoveries, as well as meeting a vast array of colorful characters. They befriended a large folkloric creature known as the Pain Ra, a shadow predator capable of interstellar travel. They made some allies and some enemies on the transitional planet of Talania, but the most key of them were with United Multiverse. Dedicated to keeping the peace in the universe and maintaining equality for all species, United Multiverse are often considered law enforcement across the sectors. The crew of the Freya found themselves in UM's crosshairs when ship medic Halcyon Hulson assaulted a dangerous gang to pay out for a favor he owed. The crew escaped from UM's clutches, but not without drawing the ire of Officer Barsk, a small-time UM Cyoxi with anger issues, and, more importantly, Captain Ezvana, a stern Loren woman in charge of the United Multiverse outpost stationed at Talania. However, the most pressing person to worry about is Silas, an escaped Malleus convict that hitched a ride on the Freya as the crew escaped from the holding station. Silas is looking for safe passage back to civilization and far from Talania, and the crew agreed to provide it, but they'll be keeping a close eye on him all the while. After the escape, the Freya began to make its way to a small space station that they had been sidetracked from weeks ago. With a ship full of medical supplies they were meant to deliver, the Freya is finally looking to complete the drop and leave the job behind them, hopefully scraping by with enough credits to survive and explore more readily. But the ship's fuel reserve wouldn't get them all the way there, and there are more mysteries to unravel en route. A mysterious human woman with blue hair seems to have traveled through time, paying the crew of the Freya for work they had not yet done, and then meeting them on the surface of an ominous planet. They learned, from an automated docking system, that the planet was known as Erundi, and it is home to an immense twisting fortress that shares its name, Castle Erundi. It is a monument of technology and secrecy, with doors that open when they please, twisting hallways that change by the moment, and a powerful energy emanating from its center with unknown purposes. The crew of the Freya agreed to help the woman, who introduced herself as Paradox Jack, a legend among starfarers. Paradox Jack wanted to rescue another crew that was trapped inside Castle Erundi, as well as to figure out what the purpose of this mysterious fortress was. The crew entered alongside Beza, a Kelsara woman who was part of the other stranded crew, as well as Jack and Silas. Once inside, the crew learned more about this dangerous location. The castle seemed determined to split the crew up. Talon found a way to jam the doors open, which allowed the crew to stick together until they found Impact, one of Beza's crewmates. The situation escalated as Impact claimed to have seen Beza killed. Further investigation led the crew to learn that the castle seemed to be making copies of the people within by using thumbprint scanners that were required to open the castle doors. Halcyon, the ship's medic, devised a test to see who was real and who was a copy by making a small incision on the elbow and checking later to see if the scar was there. This trial proved effective as testing Beza caused her blood to turn silver and vanish into the cracks of the castle. Beza is still unaware she failed the test and seems to believe herself to be the real thing. The crew used the communications array within the castle to contact the remainder of the survivors within, and set about to go find them, starting with the copy of Impact, who also responded on the comms. However, upon trying to prove that this test worked to the copy of Impact, Halcyon tried to show the wound near his elbow, only to find that it wasn't there, and that he himself had been copied in a moment of separation from the group. The real Halcyon found himself in the ventilation ducts that run through the castle, where he encountered an old friend that had been told to wait on the ship, Gammon. Now, with the group split and tensions high, we find the crew of the Freya dealing with potentially life-threatening dangers, stuck inside of an ever-shifting labyrinth, still with no idea what its purpose is or how to escape with their whole crew in one piece. How will they proceed? What happens next? Let's find out. Welcome back to Tales from an Infinite Verse. Woo! We're here! We made it! All right. Oh wait, hang on. They can't hear you yet. They can't hear you yet. Now they can hear. I'm so sorry. I forgot to unmute desktop audio. They couldn't hear you until now. I'm so sorry.
Oh, what a shame. That was such
You
a smart
missed
thing.
all the best jokes, y'all.
Yeah,
I gotta-
it's all downhill from
I
here.
ruined
We peaked before you turned the mic on.
Yep. Sorry, folks.
All right. Well, gang. Oh boy. We've got a doozy, so I'm not going to waste much time. Y'all just heard the 11-minute recap. I actually just told the cast I'm going to be typing up a recap from here on out with pivotal information kind of like condensed into a smaller space, and then a longer recap for those who want to like read the whole thing. And there will be a chat command starting next week, so if I'm speaking into the world, I'm going to force myself to do it, where you can type !recap, and it will link you to that so you can see it. So we don't need 11-minute recaps at the beginning anymore for this crazy, crazy story.
What else are we going to use to give us a buffer time to get ready?
Oh, I mean, we all still have a recap that'll just be like a reasonable size one.
Okay.
And if we get here, if we need extra time to get ready, then some of us will just shoot the shit with the chat, you know? We'll have a good time.
Fair.
All right. So the gang's all here, so we're gonna get started. We just went over a recap with our crew, so there's no need to do that again. I think we're just gonna dive right in. I think it's time to start. Oh yes.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Okay.
All
right.
So, we find Halcyon in the air vents, or a sort of branch off section in those air vents with this kind of significant vents that are big enough to walk through, or at least crawl without too much difficulty, going in all directions, face to face with the ship's sort of bruiser, Gammon, everyone's favorite Radiant. There's an awkward moment of silence, at least from Gammon, as they sort of stare you down.
Hey, Gammon.
Hey,
How'd you get in here?
walked?
That's fair. Where did you come from?
Where did I come from? The ship.
Between the ship and here, what happened?
they sort of narrow their eyes at you a little bit. Maybe probably not understanding why you're so suspicious. And just says, I don't know, lots of stuff. This place is crazy, but I've been looking for you guys, and I found you, so that's a start.
It's definitely a start. I just got separated from the rest of the group myself.
Okay. How do we get back there?
I don't know. I took a fall off of some platform thing, and I landed here in the vents, and I've just been crawling for the past few minutes. I tried to, bang my way out, but it wouldn't budge.
All right. Well, I mean, we can pick a direction.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yes and no. We're only crawling, right?
I mean, he hasn't moved yet.
But I mean, that's the kind of space we're in, right?
Yeah. I think this little junction you have space to stand up. But then as soon as you want to be moving again, you'll be crawling.
Gotcha. And it's a T junction, right?
It's a what?
Like a T.
Oh no, it's five. There's 5 different
5 different ways. Okay.
It's all over the place.
Yeah. So okay. So standing up, Hal's just gonna kind of brush himself off and be like, okay. So, Gavin, I know
we had our falling out. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll deal with it later.
Well, here's the thing. This place, building, maze, whatever you want to call it, this place is making copies of people. Did you?
Okay.
I know I'm having trouble wrapping my brain around it. Ro's having trouble wrapping his brain around it. But we're getting there, bit by bit. I digress. Did you pass through any doorways where you had to scan your hand?
Yeah, 12. This place is huge.
Shit. Holy shit, 12. Okay.
This is massive. I wasn't gonna get on the
Yes.
weird train thing. I've been taking hallways like a normal person.
We took the train.
Okay. I caught up.
Yes, you did. Pass the legs. So I developed a test of sorts to determine if you're actually you or whether you're a clone.
I think you'd know if I wasn't me, Halcyon.
You say that, Gammon. You say that, and believe me, I want to believe that. You are a very, very unique figure. Although there's somebody else on the ship that came here before us who's a lot like you. You'd love him. His name is Impact. He's a great guy. Carries a big gun. You'd love him. Anyway, I digress. And Hal rolls up his sleeve to show the scar on his elbow. So this scar is one that I recently gave myself. And basically, we found that if cut somebody and they bleed their normal blood, or whatever liquid's inside.
Time out. Halcyon never saw the test work.
Oh,
Halcyon
right.
fell before you positively
Yes.
ID'd someone.
Thank you. So,
Thank you for the raid, Ash.
Woo!
thank you for the raid, Ash. Anyway, so the idea is, Gammon, is that if cut somebody, if they bleed the normal blood, then they're most likely themselves. If they bleed something else, they're a copy. But we also don't know how good these copies are, if that makes sense.
Can you go ahead and face adversity with influence, please? And given your current standing with Gammon, disadvantage, absolutely. You have not had time to patch up that specific mess.
Yay!
That one's a cocked die, but it literally cannot be worse. Oh my god, inflammatory, please. Okay,
Wait for
so that is a total
consequences.
of 3.
3.
boy.
Gammon
Yay.
takes a step towards you and says, "So, Halcyon, you're telling me that this place is making copies of people, and those copies are bad, inherently, we assume, and therefore you, a person I haven't seen and am not on great terms with anyway, who's, I'm taking your word for it, is the real you, wants to approach me with a knife. That's what you're telling me right now.
I
in this
know
moment.
I know how it sounds. I know how it sounds. I know
Then
how it
you
looks.
understand why I'm not doing it.
I do.
I know you're being obnoxious enough right now that you're the real Halcyon. I trust that in my head.
Thank you.
So
That's-
I need you to trust that I'm me. I need you to trust me right now, Halcyon.
I gently just like reach forward and like
He
put
steps
my-
back. He does not get anywhere close to you.
I believe you, Gammon. I know you feel the same way. This place is fucking weird. And none of us are having a great time.
Then let's find the others and get out. And he picks a direction and goes.
And I follow.
Those failures.
I know, right?
All right,
Still-
you follow Gammon through the events. You try and navigate your way through a place you have no physical way of navigating. Let's cut back to the others, shall we?
Yes. One of my die fell off the bed. I'll be right back.
Okay. I mean, you're in the next scene, too.
Congratulations, Dan.
All right.
Playing 2 characters.
I almost just cried. I'm very emotional about Gammon right now.
Damn,
Back in the, I believe Impact was in the generator room. Impact, you, Halcyon, raise your elbow to show Impact your scar, and Impact goes, interesting, and pulls a gun on you.
I imagine that my hand brushes against where it is, and I'm just like, he and I realize at the same time, whoa, no. Okay. And just kind of like preemptively like holding hands up in both directions. So towards both parties. This is a good thing. Okay? This is a good thing. Just Impact, please. I know you just met me, and I know how this works, but you need to trust me. This means that my system works.
He's right.
Thank you, Ro. Thank you.
And what is the point of your system if it's not to take out the copies so there's only the real versions left?
No. This is very good. This is excellent. Because now we have a copy, a known copy, a copy that knows that it's a copy, which is something that seems to be unsure
New.
before.
That's
Yeah,
new.
that's new. We've never encountered that. So now what we actually need is does anyone have a psychologist couch that I could borrow and actually interview this copy? Find out. Does it remember its
We'll have time for
childhood?
that.
I'm
We'll have time for
hearing-
that on the ship,
Sorry, Dan, you're a little quiet. Just see, we're trying
though.
to.
Sorry.
Um,
I can work on that.
And while you're doing that, in response, Ash, we have not had any gifted advantages just yet. Now would be a time. Much
yeah,
better.
so-
much better.
Thank you. Sorry, change my mic. Impact. I know how this looks. I need you to trust me. I feel like this is a surprise to me, just as much as it's a surprise to you.
He
So please-
powers his gun up and says, I'm hearing a bunch of science people excited about a science thing. I get the same thing where I'm from, and often you science people tend to ignore the important stuff. Which is the
No. I'm not ignoring the important stuff because.
hang on. While you're talking, Halifax, yes? Because this...
I'd probably have my laser rifle out and ready to go. And while this exchange is happening, I'm gonna take my aim at the copy Impact.
Okay, so you take your aim at him. He acknowledges that, but doesn't act on it yet. Carry on,
Okay.
Halcyon.
Is
Okay.
is the copy impact armed? Sorry, just
Oh yeah, no. So that's the one.
That is
so
aiming
you,
the gun.
You checked the first impact.
The original.
And
the one with the scar.
he's with you. Copy impact is the one you're talking to now, who hasn't technically been checked yet, but you know he's a copy by virtue of the fact that you tested the real one. However, at this point,
Is he
No.
gonna give the gun back?
no, real
Okay.
impact is still very much trying to figure out the best move here, and he's not having a good time doing it. So he's
I
just
imagine
gonna-
Merrick's back there like.
Yeah, Merrick has like absolutely arm barred him, but he's not trying to get past. Real impact is still like trying to figure out like, do I shoot fake impact? What's the deal here? So Halcyon, sorry, go on.
No, you're good. You're good. This is all important. It's like, okay, no. Okay. So, right now, we know that our genetic information is passed on when we do the hand scan thing. Okay, those scans don't have this. Okay, so what we don't know is if one of the copies, if I die, I don't know if that information is going to be passed on to whatever thing is controlling all of this. And if it does, that means that this whole thing is fucking shot to shit. Okay? So we need to keep everybody alive right now, Impact.
First, I need L to face adversity with, not face adversity, get involved with force to see how your aiming impacts Halcyon's attempt. Because pointing a gun at someone is good motivation, however you spin it.
Just checking, because I know this was an issue last week. I'm pulling up old notes that Dan graciously put to do which one means what.
So
If I am
finesse
still-
would be, since you're taking careful aim, I would argue finesse is to fire the gun. Force is what you're using to scare him. This would be intimidation, so this is literally just your physical force, I would say.
Cool. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. That's
yeah. Force.
Theoretically, force isn't just physical; it's also how much you impose yourself on a situation. It's
yeah,
like
it's looking dangerous.
how much space you take up, kind of thing.
Okay.
So
And then
when you
force is old version metal, correct? That's the main thing that I'm like, I want to be sure.
It was
That's
technically old
fine.
version physique.
Yeah.
Metal
Okay.
is
Because I had to change it twice.
precision.
I haven't changed mine yet. That's why.
Metal is finesse, physique is force.
I have it up. Okay. So force. Let's go. That is an 8.
8. Okay. So on an 8, I'm gonna say you give Dan's about to have advantage moving forward with this. You've definitely put him in a good situation.
Welcome.
That said, okay, I got this. We're good. I'm not going to say the exact consequence of this right now,
There.
but you'll probably figure it out.
Okay, cool.
Dan, go ahead and make your influence roll. I'll let you. You're explaining to him with reason what this is rather than influence. I'm going to let you use intellect for this.
Oh, thank God.
Intellect with advantage, because it's literally you're giving him a good reason. It's not about convincing him. It's right. It's not about convincing him like that you're trustworthy. It's convincing him you're right.
Yeah.
You're convincing him with facts, not charisma.
Dice, don't fail me now. Okay. It's a 9.
9. Okay. So with lots of mixed successes.
Gotta love it.
I'm gonna. Impact is going to. Got it. Impact is going to kind of look to you, and he is going to nod slowly, and he's going to say, I understand that I'm out of my depth. I get that everything that just came out of your mouth doesn't make sense to me. Everybody here is new faces, and I have no reason to trust any of you in anything you've said thus far. How do I know I can trust you?
Me personally, or the group as a whole?
Yes.
Well, if you
inclusive or.
if you can't trust yourself, who can you trust?
Regardless of the answer, Impact. Right now, no matter
And
which
yourself
way
is in
you
the group.
slice it, no matter which way you slice it, Impact, our strength right now is our numbers. I know you've made it this far by yourself, and you've done a great job of that. I know that, and I trust that. But our strength is our numbers. And
Your strength is your numbers. As far as I'm concerned, I'm numbered exactly 1 right now. So,
About that.
You're not, Impact.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, that was
so good.
I know for a fact, Impact, that you are a clone. You are a doppelganger of yourself. I know you feel like you're the real you. I feel like I'm the real me, and I am clearly not the real me. But I feel like the real me.
The only thing you've done to prove that you're not the real you is show me your elbow. Prove to me that you're not the real you.
Scalpel comes out and just a line down the forearm.
That's the proof we needed. You feel a searing pain. It's bad, Halcyon. It still hurts. Pain still works. But you watch as your own blood, as soon as it kind of drips out, turns silver, and races to the ground.
I try to capture some of it because I know it's happening this time.
This is the first time I'm going to pull this card, but no, you don't.
That's fine. That's fine.
It races to the ground. Impact backs up a little bit, sees that, and goes, I don't know a lot about Malleus biology, but I don't think that's normal.
That's not normal.
It's definitely not normal.
Thank you, Hal.
I'm keeping this primed because I am outnumbered. But I understand
Fair.
your point, and I won't be firing without good reason.
I appreciate that. I'm sure we all appreciate that.
I'm going to call you doctor, even though technically it's
I am a doctor.
Does your diploma transfer to clones? I don't know. That's
wouldn't
something
it?
to pick up with the
I'm
high
still
academics.
I'm still me. I still have all the memories. We'll have time for that later.
Basically, Ro is right now very torn between like this is weird and this is super fascinating.
Uh-huh.
Like he's like for a controlled environment and around a week's worth of just testing and stuff like that. But right now, how are you regenerating? Are you regenerating? Are you scabbing? What's happening? That's not blood. So are there any is it healing? Is it
no roll needed? Taking a look at his arm, with the exception of the fact that it seems to have maybe coagulated a little faster than typical. But I assume it was in a terribly deep wound regardless. But it's not healing. It's not suddenly it's sealing up and being okay. It is still acting like a normal wound would.
Okay, so whatever is inside you is a blood analog. It's not what you're not a whatever that substance is and just filled like a sack, right? You're still able to hold up. You don't feel like you're deflating or anything like that. Not losing pressure.
No, I feel fine. Injuries notwithstanding, I feel fine. Impact. More to the point.
Yes. What do we call the real and not real impacts?
Impact 1 and Impact 2.
Oh God.
I mean,
I'm sorry, wait. My my real self is here.
Oh yeah, show it.
Yes.
Come on out, Impact.
Merrick,
Impact
I
One.
still-
everybody,
still got-
guns away. I purposefully interposed myself between the two impacts.
I still got my gun trained on the other impact, so that still is happening.
First Impact steps out, and the two make the most awkward eye contact that you've maybe ever seen.
All right. If you think you're the real Impact, prove it by showing your blood.
This is
No,
such
we
a shit show.
don't need to do that. We don't need to do that,
They're
Talon.
fine. They just have to like make a
I-
little cut.
Yes. So,
If you
Impact
think you're the
Prime-
real Impact, that's going to be the only way to prove to yourself you're not. Did you really think that you were the real Halcyon this whole time?
yes, I still.
And
I
that
know I'm
is
not,
the
but I
only
still
way
feel like I
that
know.
you were able to figure it out.
Yes, we know. So,
If you had been told you were a fake, would anything besides this have convinced you otherwise?
No. So Impact Secundus, which is you, and I point to the new Impact, and Impact
That's what I
Prime.
said, but with a fancy accent.
Meet yourself, say hi, shake hands. Don't kill each other, please. We need everybody to stay alive. But Impact Secundus, do you want proof that you are not who you feel you are? Or is my word good enough?
The Impact you've been traveling with says, I have seen you in action enough, and you've already tested me. I trust your word. And the other Impact, not to be one-up, says, then I too trust your word.
God.
Oh God.
This is going to go great.
So now that we've had this powwow, I suggest that we move on.
Yes,
Please.
yes, Halcyon. I'm not Halcyon, that's me. Halifax. God, Can we all agree to just... This is going to be selfish of me. Can we all agree to keep me alive? Because I want to talk to myself, and I'm sure, Ro, that you would love to sit in on that as well. I think that this would actually be a fantastic thesis,
Oh
right?
yeah, sure. Very lovely. I'll be glad to leave your boat behind on this castle. And
I'm
we can
evening
fucking
with-
leave.
An evening with myself tonight at 6.
Anyway, let's
Please,
just try to keep him
let's
alive.
let's not interfere with his journey of self-discovery.
At this point in time, Paradox Jack kind of steps out and goes, wonderful. So, we're not killing each other. No one's dying, which is good news. The question on my mind, aside from finding the others, and we do need to find the others, is, first off, where's the original Halcyon? And second is, what's the purpose of these? I was certain that as soon as the first Impact stepped into the room, that someone's going to start shooting someone else. And the fact that it hasn't is terrific. So, what's the purpose of these copies, then?
I don't know.
To keep an eye on us?
No,
stop-
it
To
already
stop us
knew.
from doing what?
No, it's
Maybe.
already able to keep an eye on us. It already knows where we are and arranges the accidents and malfunctions and stuff like that to separate us. So it's not like it needed a clone with us in order to
Well, to be
do
fair,
things to us.
it had one with us the whole time.
Does Talon remember? Does Ethan remember?
Oh, we lost you.
You're cutting out Josh.
Sorry, it's
Yeah.
gonna turn my head. Does Ethan remember that Beza did not know she was a clone?
Ethan did not remember that.
Okay, would
Yeah.
you have said that out loud then?
Would you have said that?
I would have said it. I would have said it more quietly
Okay.
for Ro.
Fair.
It's not like we didn't have one with us the whole time.
That's
Um, I have a theory. And
Walk and theorize, probably, possibly, because I would love to leave.
yes,
Yes.
we can walk
Yes.
and talk.
Thanks.
But I think that maybe this place runs on biomass. That wouldn't make sense necessarily because we still have, impact here. And that's the only real proof that we have that that's not the case. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, this place seems way too big to run on the few pieces of biomass it's been getting.
And also,
True.
as far as I can tell, you, at least on the surface, are still composed of biomass. Therefore, it is actually
Oh,
creating
that's a very interesting question. Hal, let me see your robot arm.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Uh,
Because
You've-
in order to cut myself,
You've already used the scalpel,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
The
Multiple
mechanics
times.
inside of that have worked perfectly.
so
Yeah, the
this,
mechanics. Is it made of the same material, though?
How do you plan on finding that out? It looks to be.
Can I scratch your robot hand?
Not with your claws.
You scratched my elbow with a knife,
You consented to that.
and I'm asking you to consent to this.
Fine, you're fair. That's fair. That's fair. So hold my arm out.
Can you go ahead and you scratch off a piece of the metal, just a little bit of the outside. Can you? No, I mean it's the same thing. I don't think.
I'm just like,
this is
even if it's
empirical
just
evidence.
like
There's no.
seeing how his normally metal hand reacts to the scratch.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no
have the
roll
same
here.
give or anything.
It has the exact same amount of resistance as you expect from a metal arm, or the metal parts of an arm. I assume you put out like one of your little like pieces of metallic stuff.
Yeah.
But sure enough, as soon as you scrape even a little filing of metal off, it too turns into that silver liquid and darts to the ground.
Aha.
Huh.
oh,
So
it's not
whatever
blood.
this silvery material is can replicate other forms of matter.
So it's not a blood analog.
Fascinating.
Not a blood
Right?
analog at all. It's
We-
It's an
a buil-
everything analog.
Exactly, it's
Yeah.
a building material. It's a element. Okay, I've been holding off on using this until now. I'm going to trigger my deduction skill, in which I can
Okay.
ask one question, and the GM has to answer truthfully.
And I believe my other deductioner has already used your deduction, right? So this is your last one for the mystery. Is it it's per session or per story?
It's per situation.
Cool.
So, given this situation currently, how should I ask this correctly? Because I don't want it to be left open. All right. Given what I saw of how the material changed and its mimicry properties and stuff like that, best guess, who or what caused this? I'm assuming it's a what, but who or what caused this? What would I know that would have this kind of mimicry?
This level of mimicry is beyond any tech you've ever seen in play, but the closest it comes to actually hitting anything that you've actually heard of is like some sort of unbelievably advanced nanotech,
That's what I was afraid of, but thank you for the confirmation.
which, if that is true, and this place functions off of it in a way quickly enough that it can make copies like that, the place is very much pulling its punches when it reorganizes. Because if it wanted to, it could do so, at least, unless it's like limited in a way you don't understand, it could do that very much faster. If this place is all nanotech, which explains how things that look like they should be errors are actually, like, planned. Like, parts of the ceiling collapsing to try and separate you.
Yeah. Stuff that isn't really a mechanical thing to happen just
Yes.
happens.
It just happens because the building itself decides. So anyway, we're still walking while we do this, but I'm kind of like half talking to myself about this, and telling
So
them
you seem
my thoughts on the subject. If it is nanotech, why then copy? That is kind of like the crux, the knot in the whole issue, is that
why
it
not
does not
upgrade?
it does not seem to create anything fresh. It does not
Guys.
seem to have creativity.
No.
It has replication.
Also, it doesn't make anything better.
It's
No.
bored.
In
I'm
this,
sorry our conversation is boring you.
in this moment of silence after Halcyon says that, Jack claps her hand and says, well, only one way to find out. To the center of the castle.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yes? No one ever agrees to my ideas that quickly. Wonderful!
Believe me, I'm still riding on the high of all of this discovery. I'm going to regret it once we get there.
I will always be voted out in a scenario like this. Curiosity is everyone's favorite.
I'm afraid we lost you there.
Yeah, that cut out.
Rats. I was just saying that, I'm just gonna...
I think this is mic volume. The quality of the voice mod is not actually a problem. Like, that's still coming through. I think it's just...
Hello?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yay! Okay.
Oh, you cut out there.
No,
You,
You might have just got loud.
Yeah.
Oh.
You
You're good.
Okay.
Carry on.
Sorry. Okay, anyway. Halifax is gonna say,
Unfortunately, I'm always going to be voted out in this kind of scenario because curiosity is mostly everyone's favorite thing.
It's not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Not
keep
wrong.
telling you, you know what they say about the curiosity in cats.
You died?
What?
He doesn't know the saying. I just
What do you mean? Of course I know the saying. What saying are you talking about?
keep walking. Just keep walking.
Let's just keep going, Talon. We'll tell you when you're older.
I'm probably older than you.
only in cat years.
Relatively.
My running theory right now is that whatever these things are, like whatever this is, I'm going to refer to it as singular because I'm guessing it is singular, is that it can replicate, not create new, which is why all of these components of the castle are actual real rooms. They are rooms as it knew them. It can rearrange them, but it isn't making new stuff. It isn't. Why would it make rooms that it doesn't need? Because it's replicating rooms that it knows. Why doesn't it make a horrible monster if it wanted to just kill us? It just
Because
makes whatever walks into the room.
Yeah.
At least that's my thing.
Halcyon, think of a very stupid room to have in a castle. Like something that is like, there's no real reason for it other than you could.
Please say ball pit. Please say ball pit. Please say ball pit.
I was going to say about the tables and chairs on the ceiling, and then like the chandeliers and stuff. Like, it's the room, but like upside down.
What would you call this room?
The upside down room.
Absolutely
Well, not-
riveting.
While not as creative as I would have
was
hoped, it is more creative
On
than
the
anything the castle.
spot.
More creative than anything the castle has come up with so far. Meaning that they still seem to have some level of creativity in themselves, even though they are copies and an extension of this greater intelligence.
As you approach the next, because again, you're walking this whole time, you finally make it through this winding generator maze to the next room. You see it reads incinerators.
Wonderful. Let's go
I just
inside.
I look up generally like at the ceiling and like, is that a threat? Like,
It
it
knows.
seems like a threat.
Of course it's a threat.
Obviously.
Meanwhile, kind of off camera, just so you guys know where things are at, because you would have noticed, but I don't see the need to get you involved. There's been a quiet conversation happening. This thing where I would cut to a conversation if we had, like, if these were players, between Beza, the two impacts, Farah and Jack, who are sort of just, like, talking and, like, hashing out what the implication of all of this means, to sort of establish a sort of level of pseudo-comfort between all of them, where Beza is not freaking out constantly. And it basically the sort of verdict is, because Beza is the last thing we see, the only important part that we see is Beza finally kind of like stepping away from the group and sort of biting her own finger, watching the silver, and kind of closing her eyes and then catching up with the group.
Wow.
Jack told Beza.
Well, if not, the implications of how do I know I'm blah 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 just kind of there was enough doubt sowed from last episode. That wasn't like a me screwing you guys over. There was a lot of doubt that was sowed from mixed rolls previously. So that's the
Fair enough.
What? No. No.
Are you guys going into the incinerator room, or are you trying to find a new path to go on?
Well, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I can't die,
Well, you can.
but exactly, we don't know
We
the
don't know.
implications of this.
We don't
death.
know what happened to the other one.
Exactly.
For all we know, you technically don't know. No.
You might be the only Halcyon left.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's depressing.
Elora, you're muted.
Sorry. Let's not get morbid here. Let's try to figure out how to get out first. That would be
Yep.
smarter.
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't know.
Are there
Because
any other
I'm not
doors
this
inside?
genius here, obviously. But
No,
I would
Hal.
say we could try the way that we came from and see if the orientation of everything changed.
Well,
That's a good idea.
wait, actually, hold on. We came in from the edge of the castle, as far as we can determine, right?
That's
Moving towards the middle, no matter what that room is, necessitates us being spatially still in this location, right? Because the middle, unless we move with the rooms, like if a room moves and we're in it, then we move with it.
Of course, this is all new, crazy technology that we're dealing with here. However, I feel like if you're trying to trick people, moving rooms around them would be more efficient. Because if you move the room with them, there is the possibility of them noticing.
Right. So, knowing what I know about the shifting walls, so I have a data point about it, or the shifting rooms. I have a data point from last time. I am going to try my best to suss out a connection between the hallways and the actual rooms. Are there hallways between the rooms, or are they just rooms connected together?
There have been. Sometimes there are, sometimes there are not.
Okay. Do I get the feeling that these hallways are connected correctly? If you know what I mean? Like, if I'm making myself, like, like, are they at the same level of wear, at the same level, like the same architectural style, whatever? We found that these rooms had differences. So
Yes, go ahead and roll intellect with advantage, please. Thanks for the data
okay,
point.
sure things. Yeah, and I will. So I'm going to try to I'm trying to see if we can't avoid rooms and just take hallways. Maybe the hallways don't move. Maybe the hallways are like the boundaries between the moving rooms.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah.
It's smart.
6
It's
and 4
smart.
plus 2, that's a 12.
12.
Yes.
Yes, big smart brain man! Do the thing!
You get the idea that while the rooms themselves shift positions constantly, it's actually the opposite of what you just said. The hallways can move wherever and however they want. The rooms themselves, within themselves, have been fairly static. You've never witnessed one moving, and they're all big enough that it would be noticed if they were shifting around constantly.
Mhm.
Pieces of the rooms can move, but the rooms themselves are consistent. They are regular. So when it starts in a room, that room is not going to like morph around them. Whereas the
That
hallways,
does also fit with the idea that the room itself is a concept.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Whereas a
okay.
hallway is just a hallway, and there's tons of different ones. They can shift
Interchangeable,
around
okay.
interchangeably as much as they want.
And then,
There's-
okay. And then
Yeah.
it changes the route of the room that you
Right.
like.
It's like one of those puzzles where you're like moving a block over one place, but you need to make sure the other block's out of the way first, but also you can rotate them sometimes.
Like Tetris,
A little-
kind of.
That's a
Or no, the pipe.
Pipe dreams.
The pipe.
Pipe dreams,
Yeah.
pipe
yes.
dreams, yeah.
Okay.
I
Wel-
played so
welcome to our MS DOS. Welcome to our MS DOS.
Oh
meeting.
god, we're aging ourselves here. We're
All right.
Oh.
Are you going into incinerators, or are you turning back trying
So
to
yes,
go
I
Is that the
I-
only
I
room in
mentioned
this?
this.
As you,
that-
I mean, there's more. This room's huge. If you want to explore farther in either direction, you're welcome to keep trying to explore.
I mentioned this to everybody else, that hallways will turn us around more than rooms. Rooms seem to remain static in volume, whereas hallways are more reconfigurable. So also hallways offer more blind spots because we're turning corners all the time.
Makes sense.
Bring up your map. If rooms are not moving,
No, they might be moving, but they might move all at once, like as a whole.
so this room will always be here comparatively to this room.
Not even. It's within itself.
Just way to get from this room to
Yeah.
this room may change.
Yeah, I think that's probably. So I bring up my map and I'm like, it already doesn't work anymore because the connection.
So the
pieces-
connections don't work, but as long as we know this room is closer to center than the room we are in now, we know that is the room that we need to go to.
That's fair. Is the incinerator at least heading in the right overall Cartesian direction?
Towards the center?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So, just so that we're aware, we're trying to move towards the center no matter what is in our way.
Jack literally does one of these little clap things.
Yeah. So we at least hope that the laws of space-time aren't being warped in this place. It's just reconfigured rooms occupying the same amount of space over the surface of the planet.
I like you. I can see
Right.
why I'm going to hire you all in the future. This is wonderful.
Perhaps you should maybe pay us more. I don't know.
I
It'll
don't
make this easier.
I don't think that's how it works, I'm afraid. I only ever go with my usual rate, which is 5 cred.
She's
Well, you
What?
have
So,
plenty of time
what is
to
it?
think about it,
would
Paradox.
would Farah also laugh at that?
Yeah, Farah, I don't think she opened that. Farah just sort of smirks and makes eye contact with you.
Nothing. We're going to do a great job.
Alright. Not saying anything.
Alright.
Who is opening the door for Incinerator?
since I have an environment suit, if there is a blast of hot air waiting for us, step to the side, please. Don't stand directly in front of the door. Allow me to open it.
Have you
Okay.
opened the door yet?
Yes.
I have.
Ro, you tink, nothing.
Take it.
Okay.
It's the people, Jack says. If we've sussed out this place knows that we're here, and sometimes people can get through if they're only with doubles or only by themselves. As long as it knows it has more to gain, it won't let anyone who's opened a door before through.
Correct.
It's a
And
it's a
I
trap,
was going-
a brilliant one.
It is. And I was going to say that maybe we shouldn't be, those of us who have the scar, maybe shouldn't be trying to open doors. Nope, that's a bad idea because people who have opened doors have been given scars.
That's also
Yep.
everyone, Merrick says.
Yeah, I
You-
realized that as I was saying that.
Who hasn't opened the door yet?
Merrick raises his
Sil-
hand.
Silas.
Silas doesn't raise his hand, but you call him out, so he
Yeah.
reluctantly puts his hand up. Farah sort of glares at him, and Silas looks back and goes, sorry, I need, Silas looks back and just goes, I'm sorry, you want two of me running around? Farah rolls her eyes. No. Fair.
We may not have a choice.
Merrick.
You don't have to do it right now, but
Merrick looks to Farah and goes, I haven't yet. I'm fine. We now know the doppelgangers act as we do, so it's not like I'm gonna, stab you in the back. Farah looks to the rest of you to see if anyone volunteers. But...
Impact, Prime, Secundus, both of you have opened doors, correct?
yes, simultaneous.
Okay,
There wouldn't be a second impact if they hadn't.
I know, but the second Impact, if he had opened doors, maybe if Impact Secundus hadn't opened doors, then maybe. But if he has, then no point.
Merrick goes and opens the incinerator room. Let's cut away.
Got away from me, back to me.
Crawling through the ventilations of Erundi, you guys were never, I can't say you become lost because you were never not. Since you've been here, you had no way of navigating. But I think when you get to the next, after like 2 more cross sections, like the ones you already passed, kind of in silence, Gammon stops and waits up for you and sort of leans against the wall, sort of there when you come out into the next cross section.
I'm not used to all this crawling. Haven't done this in many, many cycles. Thank you for waiting, Gammon.
I'm waiting because I clearly have no idea where I'm going, and I'm hoping you can get us out of these vents.
I can try. So it came from that way. Can I just make a like an intellect roll to see if I know where I'm going?
Yeah, sure.
I imagine at disadvantage.
I'm gonna say, so what are you using? Are you just literally trying to like think back on the past and try to figure out a direction? Or are you trying to use your surroundings actively in some way?
Both if I can, but definitely the first one. I do have a data point about
That's true.
how Castle Erundi moves around internally. And
That
I know
is
that
fair.
I think that's more I didn't write specifics, but I think I know it's that it moves.
Yeah,
It shifts around.
I will let that cancel your disadvantage then. Go ahead and make a flat
Okay.
intellect roll.
Dice don't fail me like you have the past 2 rolls. Should stop saying things out loud. That's an 8.
8 is still a mixed success.
Yeah.
On an 8, basically, I'm going to say you're going to find a way out of this place. You're in no way, shape, or form going to be in control of where you come out. This is not like maybe we'll be closer to our friends. This is you are going to come out, and the situation you come out in is probably not going to be super ideal. And how that shapes itself is as you kind of crawl through these vents, crawl through these ducts, you eventually find they're sort of like tucked into the top of the vents. You can see there's not like things to unscrew, but there are panels that are separated from the rest, and you're like, oh, this is one of the things I dropped through when I dropped. And when you find one, you realize if we can force this, we'll be able to at least get up.
Yeah. So I'll explain the game. Just go ahead.
You were given advantage, but like a second too late. Save it. You're going to need it later. Guaranteed.
Yes, I will. Thank you for the advantage, Ash. Next time I will use it. So yeah, I'll just be like, I'll try Gammon. I don't honestly know much more about this place than you do. And as we'll go, I'll try to explain to him that like the interning, like how everything is constantly shifting and moving around in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to event. This looks a lot like the thing I fell through. Gammon, want to help me push up? See if we can pop it free?
Gammon takes out a gun, shoots the corners. It clatters to the ground. After you.
Yay! Good job! You solved the puzzle!
Thank you, Gammon. And Hal is gonna clamber out of there. Where are we?
You clamber out of the vents, and you find yourself in a sort of what looks to be a storage area. There's big cargo crates stacked to the 60-foot ceiling. There's just huge, like, pallets full of like city block size. Maybe not city block size, but this kind of like 100-foot wide pallets stuffed with crates and boxes. Huge storage area facility.
Okay. Well, Gammon, I hate to say it, but from here we just keep walking. I think that way's going to be our best bet, but I don't actually know for sure.
Okay. You turn to walk that way, and you find very quickly, sort of start moving through these various doors. You again become very lost compared to the rest of the party, and until you find a door that leads to a place called Filtration. And as you get in Filtration, it's kind of this very loud sort of a room where you can see there's like water being pumped through things, and there's just like all these different like releases of steam and pressure. And again, the purpose of any of these rooms is fuck all. Like, you have no idea if any of it actually served any real purpose or it's just there for show. But as you kind of go into the room, you are making your way, and you basically hear, as you kind of round one corner, you hear the sound of energy weapons charging up.
Whoa, friendlies.
You turn, Gammon jumps out as well, but pulls his weapon because that's where Gammon's at right now. And you see a woman with this sort of like, kind of like pale greenish skin, and this like white hair that's like side swept and like goes down like floating, almost like a lot of like product, but it's like anti-grav product, like something like very, very stylish. She is wearing like a sort of vest that's covered in various like pins and like etchings and like sort of like embroidery, full tat sleeves, just like all over the place. There's various things. It looks like there's star charts on her arms, and she has a pair of dueling pistols in her hands, kind of one trained on each of you.
Star chart tattoos. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing. I gotta steal that one.
Thank you. And she goes, "No friendlies, I know."
I know. We crash landed on this planet the same as you did. Are you Shiva or are you Carmen?
You're the voice over the intercom. Shiva. Where are the rest of your people?
No, that wasn't me. That was Ro, actually. One of
Didn't
my
think it sounded the same.
Not close. Not quite. But he's got a way more of a handsome voice than I do.
But... It's the gills. It's the gills who gives me good resonance.
He's got a perfect voice for radio.
It makes now I'm just, your voice is just Stan Krios.
Where's the rest of your people?
I don't know. I got separated from them.
You know how that sounds, right?
And I'm just going to roll up my sleeve. Well, as I'm rolling it up, I should just keep this rolled up all the time at this point. See the scar?
Yeah?
It's a form of identification and discovery that we're using to determine if you're who you feel you are or if you're a copy.
And I'm supposed to just trust you on that?
Yes, and I'm happy to demonstrate on myself that I am the real me. And I'm not going to do it without your consent. I'm not just gonna, come up to you and start hacking at you. That's not how medicine works. I'm a doctor, by the way. But at the barest minimum, at least you'll know.
You also don't know the blood is of surefire proof.
Yeah, this is still Halcyon living on a wing and a prayer right now. Halcyon, I will go ahead and let you roll. I'm not going to give you disadvantage because Shiva's more reasonable than Gammon, who's mad at you.
Influence.
You didn't need those last words.
This is influence.
She's just more reasonable.
Yeah?
Yeah, finally.
I mean, it's an 11, but I rolled a 12.
An 11 is an 11. That is a success. Shiva goes, "Oh, Jake is here. Good."
Hi, Jake.
That means that means I am obligated by law to close chat. So,
Yay!
all right. Shiva looks to you and goes, "So the copy can't get the blood perfect?"
I don't actually know. I was dropped out and away from my allies before I could discover that. I just did it on myself, and then like the thing fell away, and I fell a whole thing.
clearly like to talk too much. Bites her hand, drops of blood on the ground.
Oh, what a badass.
Just blood from her. Goes, all right, your turn.
Cool.
Use the front of her gun to plasma burn it shut.
Okay, I'll have to remember that. Because you see, we had a thing where we all on the elbows, so that way we would know. It doesn't matter.
Why? The hand's more visible. You can tell right away.
But there's so many nerve endings and it's so painful. You're a badass.
Boo-hoo.
Look at me! I'm a doctor!
You're a Malleus. Malleus have literal armor. You can take it.
I know, but it still hurts.
Stop stalling and cut, and stop calling it
feelings.
into yourself.
Whatever.
God.
Flick out a scalpel, and very familiar to the audience, just do a shorter line on the forearm.
A less excited line on the forearm.
You don't have to do the whole forearm. You can just make like a cut
Actually,
on the back of
I
the
know
hand.
we really should talk. It should be like honestly like here because the forearm has a plate. Like you have carapacian plating and there's kind of joints between that. But yes, you do that.
But just like do that, blood.
Okay, she does. She goes
Good.
All right, your turn. Turns to Gammon, and Gammon has his gun out.
Gammon's a special exception to this.
I'm sorry. What?
Here's the thing. I was an asshole, and I was selfish, and I acted in what I imagined to be the best interests of Gammon, who was a patient of mine. And that was the wrong call to make. And some wounds you just can't take a cauterizing iron to and just cover them up, seal them up, and rub them away for good. Some wounds take time. And we're still in that time phase.
Go ahead and roll influence with disadvantage, please.
Man, House got in his metaphors, dude. He thrives off them. It's the only way he talks to people.
If you would like, you can cancel out the disadvantage, but you need to call it before you roll. Or
no?
Did we get lucky? Did we do good?
I mean, it's mixed. It's an 8.
Mixed on an influence disadvantage for you is nice. On a mixed, I'm gonna let you choose. The words you just said had a significant effect on the people around you. That was not, as you may have imagined, just for Shiva.
Correct.
One of the two of these people is moved enough by your words to trust that. It is up to you which one.
Gammon.
Okay, great. I guess that wasn't much of a choice. That's fair. Gammon, you don't see Gammon's reaction because your eye's on Shiva right now. But Shiva says, "I'm sorry, we don't have time for your personal hang-ups. We need a wound now, or I'm just going to assume you're both in on this."
That's not my call to make.
You glance to Gammon, who is
here, buddy.
who has been quiet this whole time, but you now see it's just like completely tears streaming down their face. Hasn't made a sound. Not sobbing, just like full tears. They kind of look to you. And they look back at Shiva, and they take a step forward, and they say, "Where I'm from, sometimes trust has to be enough." And Shiva goes, "Where I'm from, trust has gotten a lot of really good people killed." And opens fire on Gammon.
Yeah, okay. Yep, expected that. Okay.
Halcyon, you have a split second to react if you want to do anything.
I'm gonna try and shove Gammon out of the way.
Of course you are. Go ahead and act under pressure. I will let you use finesse. This is about speed, not power.
Okay. It's a +1 either way for me, but...
Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna use my advantage on this one.
Okay, this one's important. Gotcha.
This is the important
So
one.
that you don't die. Maybe.
Okay. So that's a 10.
10. You barrel Gammon out of the way. The two of you slam into a pile of crates. She's like firing, like doing that like stray fire across to you. And as you're kind of like helping each other up, Gammon goes, wait! And there's like a scrape across their shoulder from hitting the crate, and they show the blood. We're good.
We're good. We're good. Please stop shooting.
You made that way too difficult. Don't know if I'd like you to. Holsters the guns.
That's the running theme with me and my crew. I push everybody away in the name of science.
Gammon looks kind of back to you and helps you up off the ground.
Thanks, Gammon.
I'm not really good at being mad. I don't like being mad at you.
I just like pat him on the shoulder, probably some like tears coming out. It's okay, buddy. Nobody likes being mad, but I deserved it. No,
you don't.
Gammon.
It's
no,
okay.
Gammon. It was wrong of me.
You're blaming yourself for the wrong thing. I don't care that you put me in danger. I care that you don't think I can take care of myself when I'm put in danger.
I know. Like I said, it wasn't my call to make.
Thanks.
Of course.
Let's cut away.
Babies.
Finally, God, we had tension
Children.
between the two of you for the last, I think, 3 sessions.
Quick question. Which hand did Shiva bite?
That would have been her left.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Notes. Let's go.
Meanwhile, in the incinerator room, you guys make your way in there, and you find it's immediately very hot. It's not dangerously hot, as Ro is a little worried about, but it is definitely, it's heated in there. And you guys begin to make your way through this incinerator room. There's just, again, there's rows and rows and rows of these just massive, bless you, incinerators. You can see giant kind of great openings for you to throw things in. Every once in a while there's a kind of billow of smoke up from one of them, as if something has been thrown down, even though not here it hasn't been. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm a copy, does
I
the
was just thinking
whole
this.
Malleus and heat thing still come into play?
I was
Like,
just
do I
about to
still have
bring
the
this
heat
up.
absorption?
Yes.
I was actually just thinking of this. Yeah,
Yes, you do.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
I was
so
gonna I was gonna touch both of you, both Hals, and see if there's a difference in heat.
Oh, there's only one Hal in the room.
No, Halcyon and Halifax.
Oh, fair. Sorry. Duh.
Sorry.
Got me panicking a second. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
My bad. You guys did not get separated. You're good.
Please
Talon,
no.
I assume you've jammed the doors behind you every time you've gone through.
Yes.
Cool.
We've been,
You begin to suspect that perhaps that only matters in the short term because of the nature of the beast.
Yeah,
If the rooms
yeah.
can shift, it doesn't matter that much. But it does allow everyone to get through without getting split up every single time,
Yes.
which is a very
It
nice
does.
luxury. to
It's
have.
still
It does also mean that if we encounter the same room again, it will hopefully be still open.
Ideally,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I love that non-committal answer.
Always not the answers. You guys,
I do ask though. I do wonder, what exactly would a very, very advanced civilization like this need to incinerate? Because incineration means that you're dealing with waste matter that is flammable in some way, right? Or at least that can be destroyed with intense heat. Are we talking like
well. Let's
Plasma
look around.
plasma incineration? Like
what kind of incinerator are we dealing with?
Yeah,
Are we dealing with like large pools of molten metal? Are we
Can
looking at a
you-
large furnace?
As
with a kind
you
of
are
bell?
thinking about that, since Sean was the first one to pose it, go ahead and roll intellect. I'm going to give you advantage because as you're investigating, Jack is musing some things, which I will repeat based on how this goes, which will sort of help connect the dots on your theory.
Right.
Yes, Halifax, while Sean's rolling.
So Merrick opened the door. He doesn't have a mark yet, right?
Merrick
Oh yeah,
rolls
we
his
need to
sleeve
do
up.
that now.
Come on, bud.
Right. Yep. Here you go. Slice, cauterize.
Nice. He checks.
Still
He
blood.
watches the first drop of blood fall off just to be safe, and cool. What do we get, Sean?
11.
11. As you were sort of theorizing this, Jack goes, interesting. That's actually not the first time we've seen something that doesn't add up. Generators while using electricity. Advanced societies have gone far beyond that at this point. There was a hover train. I've been to places where teleportation is possible. If a place has nanotech like this, most of this is defunct and outdated. And sure enough, as you're investigating, Sean, the incinerators are fire. It's like, it's old. This is old. The
Yeah,
tech,
this is yeah. So yeah, I relay that.
Yeah.
Is it worth calling the data point on that? Not calling, but like writing down a data point about because technically as an assessment, because I have reconnaissance.
you never know. It may not hurt to have access to that.
Sure.
So go ahead.
All right.
Okay.
So anachronistic rooms.
Yeah.
Or at least redundant rooms.
Yeah.
Redundant is perhaps the better word.
Yeah.
Jack goes, because if that's the case, and these are just copies of things that were here before, or were someone's ideas before, then this castle developed its nanotechnology could be millennia ago, thousands of years, and
Or-
hasn't actually evolved other than that since.
Or the castle doesn't. Technically, the castle was built out of spare parts.
Interesting.
It's possible that none of these pieces actually belong to the castle. It's possible that these are just copies of things from elsewhere and just
Bits of other
assembled
shit.
like a toy, right? Like toy building blocks.
Fascinating.
It's bored. It's a bored rogue AI that is going nuts.
As
Going
you're
insane.
as you are having this conversation, you hear another conversation, more distant, kind of down the corridor. Around a couple of bends, you hear kind of quiet voices, too far in the moment to distinguish exactly what they are.
Halifax definitely would have been like holding like a hand up to be like, shh, quiet, quiet. Kind of like listening.
I'm gonna say no roll, but I don't think unless you have a way to enhance your hearing, you're gonna be able to make out any details from this distance.
What
I at
about
least
my
wanted to,
cat
like-
ears?
God damn it!
Cats do have very good hearing.
I was just gonna be like, we should probably stop this conversation so that we can be a bit more careful.
As you move
Just in
forward,
terms of
then,
that.
Talon, go ahead, roll me. This would be, I believe, intellect. Yes, I think
Fair.
we don't really have a perception check in
Yeah,
Uncharted
There's no
Worlds.
there's
No,
no
not really.
Usually I suggest using finesse to actually get close enough to hear without being spotted. That's basically like the my go-to for
That's fair.
sneaking around and listening in.
I like that better. Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay, well, either way, it's an 11.
Okay, well,
Okay,
same
great.
stat. So yeah,
You
right.
guys move
No,
up.
12.
Talon, you take the lead, and sort of everyone follows your lead, knowing that you're going to hear best. And sort of once you stop, when you're close enough to hear, you recognize the others can do that as well. You hear one voice you don't recognize, a female voice, kind of very heated, arguing with another voice that you very much do recognize because it's Gammon.
Oh no!
What the fuck?
Wait, when you relay this, Farrah says, Gammon? Gammon was supposed to be waiting on the ship.
Did it eat
Yeah,
the ship?
apparently he just like.
We all
All right.
Just
What do we think is more likely? The Castle ate the ship and copied everyone on board, or Gammon didn't listen and came into the castle anyway.
That one. That's the one. That one right there.
Either way, I'm gonna kill him. Farah says. Farah's. I think I'm just doing the best I can with Farah. Farah's gonna advance. Farah's gonna start moving towards the whole situation.
Yeah.
Captain, wait.
I will stay in step with Captain Farah.
You guys round a few more corners until you see Gammon and Shiva facing off. Guns drawn, kind of having the, well, how do I know you're not a copy then? Talk. As Shiva goes, look, we're not getting anywhere like this. And then as you guys round the corner, she, without just kind of head halfway and gun full way, so she can like have eyes on both groups, turns one pistol on the group, one pistol on, has one pistol on Gammon, immediately notices there's two impacts and goes, what the fuck?
Copies. Also, meet the rest of my crew. Not really my crew, but
Gammon hadn't kind of taken his eyes until him. It looks over and goes, hey guys! Halcyon turns back to Shiva.
wait. I imagine both Halcyons are like, wait a minute.
Oh, to be clear, this is not the same standoff.
Yeah, this is a different standoff.
Yeah, this is a
Different
completely different
standoff.
standoff.
Yeah.
Other Halcyon is
No.
not there.
I caught that
No,
one.
we're in
yeah.
completely different location. Like
Yep.
in
That was
terms of
not
like the
good.
Halcyons.
I didn't catch that.
Oh no, I knew.
Oh, different standoff. Other Halcyon is not there.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Gammon.
Shiva goes, so you also understand there's copies and you're just traveling with one of them. And Basic goes, 3.
There's three of them.
Actually, but here's the thing. There's safety in numbers. You must be Shiva, right? Or are you Carmen?
Impact nods, which you see on the side of your head, recognizing Shiva, and she sort of furrows her brow a little bit, and goes, yeah, I'm Shiva. So there's... I hate this. This sucks.
Oh yes, it
Yes,
sucks.
Nobody actually likes this.
I'm kind of interested in
as,
this.
as you go, Jack also, at the same time, they both are kind of like,
Nobody's actually enjoying this, guys. Nobody's actually enjoying this. But more to the point, Shiva and Gammon. The reason we're walking around with copies, I myself am a copy, I'm also a doctor, is because we found a way to identify each other and prove, beyond a shadow of a doubt, who's human and who, well, not human, but who's not a copy and who is a copy, whether you think you're the person who you think you are or if you're not. I thought I was me, Halcyon, hi, but I'm not. I'm a copy. That sounded way too eager.
She goes,
It was, yes.
yeah, it really did. I am gonna need you again to roll plus. This one's gonna be influence. This was much more than it was explaining every little thing this time. You've gotten too used to the rhythm, so I think it's at this point. Go ahead, give me an influence roll.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna give you disadvantage because you have a whole group behind you. So this going bad would not necessarily be great for Shiva either.
It's very simple. If you bleed, you're real. If you like have silver goo come out, then you're not real.
Yes, we've seen it multiple
7
times already.
7. She is going to sort of kind of keep her hands there, and she's going to go, all right, fair enough. She is going to bite her hand, same thing, and you see the kind of silver goo, and her eyes go wide.
See, right?
And mixed part of this. She starts to like hyperventilate a little bit, and she holds a plasma pistol to her head.
No.
You guys have split seconds to react.
Gamma tackler.
Gambit is. If that's your reaction, we'll cover that in a second.
Okay.
Can I? Because I was up there with everyone else. I was up near the front. Can I run and try to jump at the gun and like force it to be heavy?
It's gonna take a lot of finesse, and you're very far away, and she is very quick on the trigger. So yes, I'm gonna give you disadvantage if that's. But let me see what everyone else is doing, because I want to see if any of these are gonna predominate any other rolls.
I mean, I have a laser rifle, and it's more meant for, like, far away. Like, there's gotta be a scope on it, right? Can I get a clear shot?
You have a better
At her
shot.
hand, at least?
You have a better chance of hitting her hand than Talon has of getting it in time. If you want to try to shoot the gun out of her hand, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I'm gonna yell, hold!
I can tell you, and you can tell she's not going to. So go ahead and roll finesse to try and shoot the gun out of her hand, because otherwise it's happening.
Okay, cool. Also realized that my voicemail was on, and I didn't realize. Okay, cool.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
You said it was force?
Finesse.
Finesse.
Finesse, cool.
This because it's literally a carefully aimed shot.
Hold on one second before I do that. I'm just checking my data points. I'm guessing none of them apply for this.
I don't think so. This is literally
separate.
shooting a person's gun out of their
Oh
hand.
yeah, totes my goods. Okay. Eight.
On a mixed success, I am gonna say, you are going to see my instinct as a storyteller is to say that you injure her worse than you plan on doing so, but I don't even feel like that's like much of a mix. I would say at this
Because
point
they're not dead still.
yeah.
I'm sure you'll come up with something really messed up.
You completely blow her hand off.
That's kind of what I was leaning towards.
Hey,
It's a sniper rifle at close range. I think we're gonna go with that. It's not like a huge punishment, but it's a success, so it's a mixed success. You fire and you blast. Yeah, sorry, Sean. If you have a thought, I would love to hear it.
Oh, yeah. Didn't forgive me for backseat GMing.
Please backseat GM.
If you wanted a little bit of extra trouble, you could have her flee afterwards.
I mean,
dead.
that's
She's armed.
This is funny, and we'll have more of a deeper talk about this later because she was going to anyway, but I didn't view that as a consequence. I viewed that as just how she react. So that's perfectly fair.
Because it goes against what the players want. So the main goal was make sure she doesn't kill herself, but anything else she does is still under her control.
That's fair. You blast her hand off. I'm going to do a combination of these. I'm not going to say rolling. A couple of fingers come off.
Yeah,
you see a splatter of silver as it kind of streaks across the sky and sucked down into the ground. The gun goes clattering to the ground. She looks at the other one, realizes what you're probably going to do anyway, throws her other gun down, and sprints away. Impacts are going to say, Shiva! And they're both going to go chase her.
Impacts! No!
God damn it!
No! Stay here, please.
They will not.
I'm going to investigate the guns she dropped.
Are the rest of you just letting her and Impact go?
I don't think we could physically stop them.
Yeah.
No.
Not without more violence, at least.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more than willing for more violence, but I'm pretty sure no one is on board with that, so...
Farah
That
puts
said...
Yeah. Sorry, I was going to say Farah puts a hand on your shoulder. You first! You first!
I apologize.
You're good.
We're our timing is a little weird. I think
You're good.
between us. We still have a crewmate who hasn't been blood checked yet. Because I don't think that he has he? Gavin hasn't had. Yeah. So you're not gonna try to shoot yourself, are you, Gammon?
Gammon goes, guys, I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
And Halcyon thought he was him.
I don't care what Halcyon thought.
Do you care what I think, Gammon?
Yeah, but
it's just a little scratch.
I roll up my sleeve and show him. Like, look, see, I had it done. It is purely a logical thing to do. We are marking ourselves.
Guys, stop. If Gammon, following what I originally said, what original me originally said,
What do you think?
it's consent. And if he doesn't want to do it, we cannot make him.
Understood. But I would have thought that it would at least be important to explain why it is important and how we've all done so.
It is, and Gammon, this is important. But I know that things between us have been rocky, and we'll deal with that later, but I need you to trust me and trust us. And if you want to, you do not have to, we can check. But I understand if you don't want to know if you're a copy or if you're the real you, the original you, because you're still really you, even as a copy. This copy business is very strange.
Rucka.
Ro is not too happy when Hal is talking about trusting him, because he remembers what about not telling what's her name?
Beza
about that. He remembers about being willing to lie or rather withhold information if it suited him. So he's like,
Ro will remember this.
Yes, yeah.
I am going to say this is the order of events, and I'm going to stick to my guns here. I'm going to have Ro be the one to make this influence roll, but I do need Halcyon, by nature of what you've been talking about, to get involved with influence.
Of course.
Which is going to make this either better or worse.
I mean, I was also talking.
I will let the two of you choose who wants to make the roll between Ro and Talon. I don't want two different get involved, though.
Okay.
You said a lot less, and Halcyon was very passionate.
Fair.
And with things between me and Gammon, I think
sort of where it's at, yeah.
Of who said what I say is going to have more weight, or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, it's like, if anything, you talking made it worse.
7.
Okay. In this case, I'm going to do a break from my usual, and I'm just going to say it doesn't impact the roll. I'm just going to do disadvantage, no impact, or advantage. I'm just going to say flat. We're going to let Ro make his check now, and it's only aesthetic that happened. Go ahead.
Well, of course there's no impact. The two of them ran off.
I hate you so much. I hate myself for naming impact.
All right.
It's a cool name for a radiant, though.
Nice. I gotta say, you picked bad times. That was absolute snake eyes. So
oh
it doesn't
shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit! Gammon is going to look to Ro, and he's going to look to Halcyon, and he's going to start, like you can see their eyes starting to water up just a little bit, and they're just going to say, I'm going to go after the Shiva, and runs off. And Ferry says, Gammon, stop, that's an order? God damn it!
That one's on me, y'all. That one's on me.
You turns to you, Halcyon. You've got to sort your shit out with... You're not even the real Halcyon! And keeps walking.
How do you think I feel?
I'm sorry.
I'm me, but I'm not me, and it's... Anyway, let's just chase after them.
All right. As you guys set off,
This
to
does
go,
raise an interesting point. Can you separate yourself from your own baggage now that you know that you didn't actually cause any of it?
Not right
No,
now.
because I did cause that as we're running.
Well, now
you
because
have,
I did
but I
cause
was-
that
are
baggage.
you
before that.
running after them?
Halcyon will start running.
Is everyone going to follow along?
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We have to keep
We
close
have
together.
to stay together. Ah, fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, if we ever meet any of them again, we have to assume that they might have been replaced in the interim.
Okay. While as you run after them, then we're going to take a quick break. Back in 5:10. Don't miss it.
Water break.
Water break. Everyone stay hydrated. See you soon.
Bio break.
Be right back. And we're in.
Ha!
We're back.
Ah!
Hey.
All right. All
Or
right,
are
gang.
we?
Oh, yes,
we
we
all
are.
copies?
Were you in
No,
the room
don't
with
do
us
that.
this whole time?
No, please. Quick, check your elbow. Ah, fuck.
I can't see it. Am I
Yeah,
good?
Yeah.
Sweet. So, let's go back to, Gammon and Halcyon.
Gammon, real Halcyon.
The only ones that are in the same spot, yeah.
Before we
Okay.
do that,
Yeah.
Talon was investigating the guns left
Guns.
by
Right.
Shiva.
Thank you, yes. So Talon, when you investigate, by the time you get to those guns, they have turned to silver liquid and fallen into the floor.
Okay, so they were the same stuff. Okay,
Mm-hmm. All right.
that's what I wanted to be sure of.
Okay, fantastic. You two and Shiva make your way through the halls of this place. Every once in a while, you get to a door that won't open and you're forced to move on because you can't control where you go anymore since all of you have used the doors here.
Yeah.
But as you go, Shiva is sort of like making small talk with just like so how many of you are there? How many do I have to be aware of right now?
Oh, there's quite a few. There's me, Gammon. Well, of my crew or that was in the party that I got separated from.
That one.
Okay. So there was me, Ro, that was the voice you heard. Farah, Merrick, Impact,
Impact was with you guys?
Beza, yes.
Are they? Do you know they're them?
I don't know. I got separated with my party before I could finish doing the process on anybody but myself.
She nods and goes, "Just gotta keep on the lookout then."
Yeah.
You
Seems like a
guys,
great guy, though. Gammon, you'd really like him.
Gammon goes, "I hope so. That'd be nice. Be nice to have a new friend." As you guys go, you make your way into a room labeled weapons. You get into the room and quickly find out it's not about like, we have shelves of guns here. This is like, this is building scale weapons. This is ship weaponry. This is like turrets on the ceiling of the castle pointed up at space. You can see like what look like telescopes, and if you didn't know better, you would say, oh, there's telescopes. But when you look through them, there's triggers there for fire.
Telescopes of murder.
Murder scopes, if you will. And you guys begin making your way through this room, and Gammon is sort of looking impressed at all these massive weapons, and says, "So do we like? I know before I was really like huffy about it. Do we have any way of getting around, of like knowing where we're going here?"
Ro had a way, a map, but because it's semi-reliable map, because of how the rooms are constantly changing and shifting their orientation to each other. So he could create a map of the nearby area that was accurate at the time that he made the map, but by the time we got to the next room, everything would have changed.
Got it.
So we could see like one step ahead of us, not all the way to the finish line.
Got it. At this point in time, as you are making your way through, you hear running, frantic footfall, as footsteps are drawing nearer.
We should hide. We should hide. Just be sure.
Mm-hmm. She ducks behind like one of the little like kind of seats that you'd use for one of these guns and levels her dueling pistols over it.
No shooting. Don't start shooting. Okay.
She goes, "Only if I'm shot at first."
Fair.
Gammon is going to look to you and go, no shooting. Got it. And he's going to duck and hide with you. Barreling around the corner is Shiva.
Yeah.
Missing a hand, freaking out, and regular Shiva sort of pulls her guns up. There's more footsteps, but let's see exactly how many, because we need to go back to the others and see what they've been up to.
Quick question about missing hand Shiva. Is it still bleeding? And if so, is it still like just?
I
like,
won't
dripping?
answer that yet.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Chasing down Shiva was the 2 impacts, and chasing in the 2 impacts was Gammon, and chasing down Gammon was all of you. You guys are rushing through, but it's not just the generator, the incinerator room. You guys rush out of the incinerator room, and you have to go to another one. And as you were going, Gammon got enough of a head start with how poorly the last thing went, that I'm going to say he gets through the door slams shut behind him, and you guys hit another block before you can catch up. Someone has to open the door.
Silas, we need you to open the door, man.
Silas goes, well, and Farah nods and goes, do it. And he goes, Silas opens the door.
And Silas, are you okay with being cut and cauterized a little bit?
I know the drill.
Cool.
Oh, sorry, I don't do his Malleus voice, my bad. You guys run after. At this point in time, who's taking the lead, and how are you seeing to it that you are going to be able to catch up or keep pace with these people?
I kind of want to say that I would be in the lead, maybe. But
look at me, I'm struggling just to keep up. I have 0 force and -1 finesse. I'm not winning any races.
Cool. So Halcyon, you're running ahead. Is anyone like neck and neck with Halcyon? Like,
I would like to be neck and neck with Halcyon.
fantastic. Do you have a
literally
method?
right on my neck.
I could.
Do you have a method of keeping up in any sort of real way?
Who, me?
Mhm.
I mean, I'm a cat and I'm fast. But if I needed more than that, then I could just stick to his back.
Okay, no, that's fine. So the 2 of you rush forward. You, I think you can keep them in your sights without too much effort. The rolls I'm going to need are actually from behind you. I'm going to need a finesse roll from both Sean and Elle, please.
Alright, there it goes. 6 and 1, -1. So that's a 6. That could have been a 7. But it is
Finesse?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Snake eyes.
This is good. This is a
great.
good game. This is a good set.
I'm
This
just
is great,
imagining
guys.
both of us.
Everyone at home, this is great.
I'm just imagining both of us huffing and just me saying, we need to install a gym on the ship for long trips.
Not huffing and puffing, just like.
I'm just making sure you don't lag behind.
Oh yeah, blame me.
Fantastic. You guys are doing your best to keep pace, but you're falling behind a little bit, which forces the crew ahead to slow down a little bit, which means they're going to be, like, to keep each other in line of sight at all times. Kind of, Halcyon, Halax, you guys glance over your shoulder to make sure you can see, like, they're kind of falling behind a little bit. And you just have to, like, pace yourself a little bit before you get to the next door. The next door, which is weapons. Everyone sort of looks around and starts, and Jack goes, alright, who has not opened a door yet?
I believe it is only Farah now.
Farah goes, I opened a door.
Oh,
We have all opened a door.
Talon, have you opened a door?
Yes.
I was the second one to open the door.
Oh, I didn't have that marked down for some reason.
Oh, yeah. I was the. Would I have had a copy by now then?
Maybe. No. No, because you have
Halifax is gonna try anyway. Like, we're rushing.
I
fuck
mean,
it.
yeah, I would have.
I believe everyone in the group has now opened the door. Did Jack ever open
Yeah.
the door?
Yes.
Yes, Jack was the first one to open the door.
Cool. Love it. Great. So, Talon, you try anyway then, and door opens.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember last session I tried just like hitting it over and over. and
Right.
over and over.
Sorry, I think I messed up with how I took my notes. I wrote the wrong things, which got me confused. But
Fair enough.
I'm caught up now. We're good.
Okay. Open the door.
Okay, door opens and you guys continue to rush forward. You come barreling around the corner. Actually, you'll come barreling around the corner in a second. We're gonna cut back. We're about to come back together. But this now handless Shiva has run around the corner and is basically running, but not shooting, but not hiding anymore. Other Shiva stands up and puts her guns in the air.
I stand behind her. This is what I was trying to tell you about. Shiva, down there. I know this is really fucking crazy. You've already done all of the. You know that you're not you, and I know you're probably really stressed out about that. I imagine you look very stressed out.
Shiva, stop! Impacts run around the corner. See you, sort of like hands out tension, and your Shiva goes, oh fuck.
In fact, we found two of you. Interesting. More questions for you, in fact, later. But Shiva Secundus, can I tend to your hand real quick?
Now I'll answer the question that it was on Ethan's tongue. The hand is not actively bleeding anymore.
Also,
it appears to have just stopped bleeding. Yes.
Side note, this Halcyon wouldn't know the code name. They would just know him as Two Impacts.
That's what Halcyon would say. That wasn't a code name. That's just Halcyon's being Halcyon.
Cool. Okay.
Halcyon's the one who named him.
Yeah.
Because I said to name him Impact 2, and Halcyon's like, no, I'm going to be fancy about it. Secundus.
Hey, you paid a lot for that diploma. You might as well use it.
Got him.
Shiva, handless Shiva Secundus, looks at you and looks at herself and charges herself. At this point, as she's charging herself, the rest of you come barreling around the corner.
To me, probably telling Shiva Prime, just don't shoot.
Oh, we found another one.
So now the gang's all here.
Oh, God.
It's a clusterfuck. There's no better word for it. Halcyon, I need you to roll influence to convince Shiva not to do her instinct, which is to fire on someone charging at her.
Yep. Just a flat roll?
Yes.
Okay.
You've gained her trust by now.
That's a 2.
No!
Shiva opens fire, blasts 3 holes in herself. Head, chest, stomach. There's silver kind of splatters, and the version of herself that was running kind of collapses immediately to the ground and down into the ground. I'm sorry? No. No, I'm not sorry. That's what she would have wanted. Impact.
I understand that. We don't know what information is carried back to the host when these appendages die, and if they carry, then she knows, then if she carries all the information back that she knows, then it knows
To be
everything.
fair, she didn't know much. She kind of ran before we could tell her much.
Okay, that's good. Wait, Talon, are you
As far as I know.
elbow?
Here, let me check. I will scratch my arm.
Well, you just hold up your elbow.
Both checks check
My
out.
elbow's covered in fur, by the way.
Sure, I would have to get up close.
Both checks check out. You get draw a little bit of blood. It's not pleasant, but you're fine.
So everybody's here then.
So are you real one?
Yeah, I'm the real. Why is there? Wait.
And then
we have-
other
we have-
Halcyon rounds the corner.
This is cool. Both of them say simultaneously.
Yep, absolutely. Unless one is explicitly addressed, I will assume they're talking simultaneously.
Ro just walks in and just says, "Oh, good. Now you could put your feet into each other's mouths."
How Halcyon Prime is just gonna how bad was I?
Real bad. We have things to
Bro,
talk
the
about.
furnace was back there. There's no need for such harsh burns.
I can't say I'm surprised, just disappointed.
Gammon is going to look to Gammon and say, "Hey, can we talk for a second?" And other Gammon's gonna be like, "No? Is no an answer? Can I say no?" He goes, "You can say whatever you want." Okay. Gammon steps aside with Gammon. So they sort of start muttering, whispering to each other.
Oh, before I forget, Halcyon Secundo.
Yeah.
What's something in your pocket you can just let me see? Anything that's not really important.
Starts rifling through pockets, probably like a piece of like a receipt paper, something.
Can I take the receipt paper?
Yeah, of course. What's going on?
I will take it like a distance away from him. Does it change at all? If I tear it up, what happens to it?
Nothing.
Her guns were made of the same material and melted into the floor when she left them. Throw something away.
How Secundus is going to just take pretty much the only other throwable object he has, which is his laser pistol. Be like, you still have yours, right? Yeah, no, I've still got mine. Okay. Well, here goes nothing. They both say simultaneously. Chuck the secondary laser pistol across the room.
You do that. Down it goes.
We have a new method of testing for legitimacy that doesn't require cuts.
We'll keep that in the back pocket. That's
I have an issue with that. In that real objects are transferable.
And if you meet any version of me, I am not giving up my weapons.
Exactly.
It both impacts
So
nod to Hal, just sort of respect, just feeling
Is
the
it
same
only
way.
the weapons? Why didn't the paper? I will take the paper the same distance that the gun went. Nothing?
Put it on the ground.
I will
He did.
put it on the ground.
I assumed you did.
Okay, well there.
But yeah, you put it on the ground. Nothing.
Interesting. I'll have to think about that. Anyway,
all right. Has this wild goose chase, or wild Chiva chase, I guess, has it taken us closer or further from the center of this labyrinth?
I'm gonna have you make one more intellect check with advantage, please.
Okay. Sure.
You guys still have the data point. You're keeping careful track, but you did go on some turns.
Yes. Okay. So do you want me to burn the data point to get advantage?
Right. Don't you have a thing it's an ongoing with anything related to that, or?
Oh no, it will.
There was one for communications.
Yeah, I had burned that one last time.
Okay, I
and
forgot. I was
found
thinking of this as an ongoing, not a single time. That's
No,
my bad.
it's basically the next person to use this, because I have education. Someone else can use my data point, but it's a burn to you.
Gotcha.
to use the data point.
I'm gonna say this is
Yep.
a different, so no advantage then. Different intellect. Because you burned the data point already, right? The navigation one.
I burned the navigation. I burned the navigation one for the shifting
Yeah.
rooms,
So that's
in order to get the information about the anachronistic, redundant,
Yeah, that's not really
text.
relevant here.
Okay,
so
cool.
go ahead.
So
and-
regular-
standard roll.
regular with intellect. It's a 5 and 5 and 2 is 12.
Fantastic.
All right.
With a 12, yes. You actually start to recognize you're near the edge of a room here, and you're pretty sure with the amount you've been traveling in the same direction, you are either getting very close or will be soon. The castle does not in any way appear to be attempting to stop you from getting to the center.
We have had the last hostile action of trying to split us up was back when it shut the door on us. But someone who's already used the door has been able to open the door again, which wasn't the case before.
Now that all of us have been scanned,
That's my thinking as well. I think it has
there's no point in there's no point in it keeping any of us from doing it, because it's already gotten all of us.
And Al Prime is going to kind of raise his hand. Have we discounted that this might just be like a bored AI or something?
Oh no, that's very possible.
Okay.
That has been your go-to, yes.
I mean, it just makes sense though. Anyway,
Especially with the nanotechnology it seems to be utilizing.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's why you turn into like gray goo when you get cut.
That makes sense.
And why it gets sucked back into the room, because everything here is made of the same stuff.
So, Jack says, everyone we suspected was alive is with us here now.
Except Carmen.
To which Impact Secundo says, Carmen did not survive.
You see, we've heard that line before.
Well, to be fair, it was about Bezos, and we've only found a copy of Bezos.
Beza.
Not Bezos. Beza.
Let's keep him out of this, please.
Yeah.
This is escapist fiction.
I feel so gross now having made that mistake.
He's not allowed in this space.
Yeah.
Beza. We heard about it of Beza and have yet to see anything that says otherwise.
Didn't you say that one of your crewmates was literally chopped in half by a door?
That was Carmen.
And they didn't turn into gray goo when that happened.
No,
right?
that was Benny who got crushed. Carmen, Shiva, you shot Carmen, right?
And the Shiva goes, no, I didn't shoot Carmen. I wouldn't do that.
Ooh.
I mean, I guess I would if he was like attacking me, or I thought maybe he was meant ill, like if I thought he was a clone or something. I would, but
interesting.
Other Shiva,
which means other Shiva did, which might be why she reacted so poorly to finding out she was the copy.
Yes.
Maybe.
No, I mean that might have something to do with it too. But if I found out I was a copy,
you'd shoot yourself in the
we're not going to get into my own personal self-identity crisis, but
That's
suffice
fair.
to say that seems like what I would do.
Nope, that's fair. We're gonna have a lot of talking to do. Halcyon refers to themselves. Assuming that, and just, anyway. Well, if we're close.
Can you two predict what each other is thinking?
This can't be important right now, Ferris says.
We're not gonna
yeah.
think
No,
about
it's really not.
Sorry.
I was about to say, if we're close, then we should press on. We and Halcyon Prime is going to be like, we came through that door, you came through that door. So that only leaves, what, one or two other doors in this room, right?
And Ro, you know the way.
Yeah. All right. I will be like, this is the most direct way forward, and I repeat myself for everybody about keeping line of sight, making sure that we have line of sight around corners, and be careful because all of the hallways seem very modular and easy to swap around. The rooms, at least, remain the same volume, even if individual components might break off. The shape of the rooms are going to remain more or less the same. So, be aware of your surroundings. Don't get separated. And, yeah, stick to the main rooms as much as possible, and I'm like gonna lead people forward with the hope that somebody who is actually able to take a hit is going to be with me in case I need to duck behind someone.
Oh, before we continue, quick thing. I know we've all been doing the elbow thing, but Shiva Prime over there is total badass, bit her own hand, and then cauterized that wound, and Gammon, his shoulders scuffed.
Okay, well, the first part was unnecessary information about her being a badass, but sure. Thanks.
If you were there, tell him, Shiva. It was badass.
That's
you bit
just-
your own hand.
That's just what I do. I don't think that's anything special. That's how I chose to.
Biggest eye roll ever
Moving
from
on.
Halifax.
Keep going. Halcyon and I are gonna talk. We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. You guys need.
The Gammons have caught up after their little side
As long as that's
conversation.
all you're doing.
That's gross.
You guys make your way through a few other rooms. A construction room, a recreation room, a med bay filled with more medical toys than Halcyon can count. And in short order, you find your way to the first time you've actually witnessed the outside since coming inside. I mean, no one really looks through the scopes of the weapons, so yeah, first time. You see, as you open up one door that leads into a hallway, you are in a glass-domed hallway, like the one sort of leading to this place, where the next door is this massive central part of the castle. You don't know if there's more rooms or just one giant central room, but this is where the energy readings were coming from. This is the center of Castle Aranti. As you walk, I think it's Farah who's the one who says, just so we're all clear, this thing is very clearly... We're in a castle that's capable of stopping us from going places, and we are just about at the center of it in what feels like, I don't know, maybe a few hours, considering how big it is. We're all walking into a trap, so just... Everyone needs to have an escape plan. It shall be a different escape plan so that when one fails, we have another one to fall back on.
It's also possible that they just want to talk.
Farah glares at you.
Also possible. Halcyon Secundus steps forward. It's also possible. We've kind of been talking this over on the way over. At the beginning, I mentioned that it could be some sort of sentient being trapped in an AI program or inside this building, like a Cyoxy who's plugged in but lost their shell. PZ said that sometimes they go insane if they don't completely deteriorate, or they go insane on the way to deteriorate. Anyway, this could be the final shreds of whatever you may consider a soul reaching out for help, which is why we've gotten this far. So it could be a trap, Captain. You're absolutely right. But as the doctors here, we have to at least say that it might not be a trap. They may just need help.
I hope you're
they're
right.
lonely.
Or it's the third option that we haven't considered or even dreamt of yet.
At the very least, it seems to have not offered us any more threat since it got apparently what it wanted from us, which was a scan of each of us. As soon as we gave it the last scan.
We also figured it out. I mean, the other crew also all got scanned, presumably. But still, it was working them, I guess. But once we figured it out, everything, at least mostly everything, it seems to lose interest in impeding us. Like, the game was up, the jig was up.
Both Hal's nod and we're like, because it's bored.
Yeah, once we figured it out, it wasn't fun anymore.
Okay.
Who wants to do the honors?
You guys get to the last door. Talon, you reach your paw up, and the door opens before the paw hits the scanner.
See, it wants us in there.
Does not make me feel better, Farah says. You look inside the room before you walk inside the room.
Mhm.
It is the entire central dome is one massive room. You are immediately greeted by a wave of just absolute just energy. Just like you can feel the hum of just like of something working at the center of this room. Some big cylindrical machine covered in bolts and plank stuff. This looked entirely different from the rest of the castle. It doesn't have that archaic aesthetic. This is modern or futuristic or whatever it is. This is sleek. This is shiny. It's clearly operated by a real energy source. Yes, Sean.
Ro turns to Farah and says, Captain, this may constitute
Can I hold on you speaking? Because there's more that is going to potentially change what you want to do.
Yes.
Yeah, no, there's more. So you see this kind of, this thing going. You see various, like, kind of paths you can take to get there. But once you actually approach there, it's like sort of like slightly curved, like demisphere going down towards it. Plenty of computer consoles, plenty of inner workings and things like that. And no view of the outside world. Also, littering the room are skeletons. Full on, probably just at a glance, about 40, 50 dead bodies, varying races. You can tell from the height that they're varied. Pieces of tech that have kind of like been left there that didn't degrade are still kind of around in varying ways. It's a graveyard in here.
So it got bored of us, and now it's going to kill us.
Or
Kill it.
no. Or this was from before all of this. This was the original crew.
Do all the corpses look to be the same amount of decay or varying levels of decay?
Varying levels of decay.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
so that one's newer than that one.
Mm-hmm. Sean, did you have something you wanted to say?
So I wanted to say, Captain, this might be a first contact situation. Who is our designated representative in that case?
She looks at you like you're insane and goes, "Are you kidding me? You are." She doesn't shove you into the room, but she kind of gives you a little pat on the shoulder.
All right. So dust myself off.
As you're doing that, Dan, what's up?
Bro? Halcyon would like to whip out their deduction.
I didn't realize
Just
there's still one
whip
left.
it out.
All right, y'all, with your
Do all three of you have deduction?
I hate it.
Yeah.
Why am I
I
the
don't-
only one that
I
doesn't
don't
have
know.
deduction?
I didn't plan for
Come
it.
on, lay it on me.
We're all explorers, so we all decided to go.
Love
Wait, no,
me a deduction.
Deduction
We
is an
love it.
academic
Yeah.
skill, isn't it?
The,
Well, listen, that was like first level up. I got deduction. Okay, at least I can say I didn't start with it.
Right.
Thing.
Lay it on me. What do we got?
the curious cat's the only one without deduction.
Yeah, right.
Who or what caused this situation?
Oh, I killed the skeletons.
There are two answers to this. The first is time. These people were trapped here. Once inside, they were unable to escape. Lack of supplies, lack of water probably, would be the dehydration, will do it. The second answer, I will give you more info as it arises, though I think it will become pretty clear pretty quickly. But suffice, you don't yet have enough knowledge to say anything beyond whatever has been controlling the castle, whatever force that has been, who or whatever it is intentionally doing this. This is, whether or not it is insane or bored or whatever it is, whatever its motivation, it's intentional. This is, killing people is part of the game. If it is, in fact, a game, so to speak.
Captain
All
Farah,
right.
I
Wait,
think
before
we need
anything else, If anything is going to try to stop me, it will be now. So give me some cover, and I'm going to jam the door.
Okay.
Or try to jam the door.
As you start to work your little jamming mechanism, a voice echoes through the room. You're not going to want to do that. It comes from speakers all over the place, kind of echoing through.
All right. Ro will step forward, and the air here is breathable. Everyone else doesn't have the full eco suit and stuff like that. All right. So, despite going against my better nature, because I hate not having my water tanks and stuff like that around my neck, but I'll unhook and pull off the helmet and take a proper declamatory stance. Like I'm trying to remember my debate club thing. Is like, look, I'm still an academic. I will debate you formally, but no. Aroja says, "We wish to speak with you, entity to entity. I have been chosen as, for the moment, the representative of this group to speak with one voice. May we know who we are speaking to?"
Come on in and I'll tell you.
Before we do, can you offer us safe passage in and out as a terms of parley?
I can offer you safe passage in that it must be quick.
Gas starts filling up the corridor you were in from the back, leading to you guys.
Son of a bitch.
Like I said, you don't want that door jammed.
Close the door.
Are you guys going in?
Let the door close, otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
already going in. I'm ready.
All right.
You guys
so-
enter in, the door
Yeah, so
closes.
just-
Goes.
That was unnecessarily hostile.
Wasn't the
I'm
last door
saying-
jammed open?
The one previous?
Yeah.
You have been jamming all the doors in the way, so, yes.
It would have taken a while for them to fill it up.
Sure, yeah, no, you weren't in a huge rush, but now you're in and the door is closed behind you.
Yep. I say to the room, that was unnecessarily hostile. We came here with the intention to talk, to find out
I don't
who
think
you
their
are and what you
intentions
want.
are non-hostile.
We don't know that yet, please. Are your intentions hostile? I say to the room.
The intentions of the machinations within this castle are irrelevant to me. I care not for your intentions. I care not for your goals. You're so much smaller than you realize.
I'm perfectly aware of how small I am.
We all are aware of our own kindness in the face of the galaxy. It doesn't change my question to you. Who are we talking to, and what do you want?
I will happily answer that question to anyone left in the room to hear the answer.
At this point in time, a lot happens all at once. Every copy, their eyes go silver.
I knew it. I knew it.
That
You shouldn't
is,
have kept them. I fucking knew it.
to be
Okay,
clear, that is,
Halcyon.
one of Gammon, one of Halcyon, one of Impact, Beza, Halifax, and Roe.
Not
When-
Halifax.
Yes,
not, Not me.
Halifax.
Yes,
Yeah.
Halifax.
Yeah, when we
You've
got,
been a copy!
when
this
we
whole
got
time!
separated,
When
we
you
got
two
separated,
fell
when we both
behind.
rolled our negatives. Yeah.
Motherfucker. All right.
All of your eyes go silver.
Should have fucking. I should have killed him. It's fine.
Immediately, the copies make a break for other doors. They make a break for this other door. There's like the 8 kind of like points that come into the place. There's 8 doors on all sides. They make a break for other doors, which open for them. What do you guys do?
I chase after myself.
Okay, you chase after yourself.
What did it say right before this happened?
that it would answer the question of anyone who is left in the room to hear it.
Oh.
I'm just gonna stay in the room then.
Yeah.
Halcyon, are you staying or do you want to chase?
I would chase up to the door and just like see where I'm going.
You start to chase up to the door. As you get close, I'm just kind of splitting off based on where on the paper I've written names. So you're chasing after yourself, Impact, and Beza. Impact copy turns and trains on you as he backs towards the door.
I can take a hint.
Likewise, Gammon and Farah and Merrick, who were also sort of in the chase sort of thing, are going to give chase until Copy Gammon turns and aims at them as well. And there's sort of this, like, standoff as everyone sort of backs away. Is anyone else trying to stop anyone? I know you have Rowan Halcyon. Rowan Halifax. Let's cut to you two, actually. As the doors slam on the copies, and leave only the real people inside the room, let's cut away to Ro and Halifax. You two are running after the others when the floor very quietly just trapdoors open. And there's as you're kind of running through this, the room you were in at the time this happened was the
Incineration leading to weapons.
No, it was yes, so it would have been incineration then. So there's kind of a loud release of that steam from the incinerators nearby, masking any sound you might make to alert the others that you are suddenly absent. You only fall about 10 feet, and land in like sort of an under walkway beneath the incinerator room. What do you guys do?
Check our comms.
You check your comms. The comms immediately fizzle out and stop working.
I need everything about this. I want to leave.
Mostly to himself, Rose like, I wonder if this is when we get replaced, or if that
Not
comes
right
later.
now!
Sorry.
Stop!
Sorry.
Please.
Yeah, so
Unsheath the star sword. If it's like too dark down there, just like sheath it a little bit so that like some light comes through. If there isn't a lot of it.
Yeah, you get some light. You can see the way back up is not blocked. It didn't close behind you. You just need to kind of jump up there, get a good handhold, and climb.
Oh.
are there any paths down here?
Yeah, you can walk you can mirror the above path, but down below in the incinerator room at least.
If we climb our way up, we're probably going to end up already separated from the rest. And if the exit from this room is locked, we won't be able to open it. Ro does not know that all of this has happened because all of that people will be able to reuse doors happened after he got left behind. So it looks like these service corridors actually lead through to the next room. We can head them off. Or would you rather climb up and try the incinerator room?
Let's try down here. Hopefully, if it doesn't work out, this exit will still be available to us.
Incredible.
Right. Because Ro is an academic explorer and is used to clambering through narrow passageways, although usually made of stone and covered in hieroglyphics, not made of metal. Yeah, but I mean, a tight claustrophobic chamber is a tight claustrophobic chamber. You know, less organs in jars, but he will basically be like, okay, try to build himself a mental map. This way, this way, this way. If those three are blocked, we head that way. So I'm trying to go through my usual pathfinding routines.
Roll plus
Just waiting very impatiently for Ro to finish his figuring out what to do.
This way, but this way is that way.
Yeah. Okay. Scans.
Roll plus intellect.
All right. Here's hoping. That is a 5 and a 6. That is a 13.
God damn, Sean. You've been all or nothing today. It's either incredible rolls or snake eyes.
Either just flat on my face. Yeah. No. I did roll a 7, but it was on my finesse, which knocked it down to a 6.
Gotcha.
So.
Just like your copy above you, you have a solid understanding of the way this place works. Over, under, doesn't matter to you. It's all directions. If anything, it's easier down here because you have a bit more of sight. There's less obvious obstacles in your way. You find your way through this, down into a ventilation shaft, kind of quickly circumvent and navigate most of the place. And by the time you do come back to the surface, you are just at kind of the same, very close to that entry point as the others were.
All right. Do we see them?
No. It's a different one of those 8 entry points. You didn't come to the same exact hallway.
Okay. So, I mean, this is the center. If they are going to make it here, then we should be waiting for them.
You mean to come back out?
Wait, sorry. Maybe I didn't understand. We're at the central chamber, right? The one of the eight doors?
Yeah, just about. Yes.
Yeah. Are the doors open?
No.
No. Okay, sorry. All right, so we aren't there before all of the stuff happened. We were there after.
Well, you don't
we
know.
don't see anyone else. All right. This is okay. So change that. This is the central door, but I can't. I try my hand to get it open. Worth a try.
It opens, as does the one on the far end of the corridor. As Halcyon, Impact, Beza, and Ro rush through the door into the corridor.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. So, other Ro had taken off his helmet as he went into the room as a sign of respect, which means that the big fish eyes should be very visible because I have them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to be hidden behind.
I was gonna make this a touch you may not notice thing, but you're right because there's a moment of attempted disguise where you see the silver in his eyes and you see it quickly fade, but you've already seen what you saw. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm like, they've turned. I'm like, there is no way that I would not me meeting me. That's not the way that I would behave.
And as soon as you sort of say that, the other Ro turns to Impact and nods, and Impact pulls a gun and starts firing. What do you guys do? As he takes aim and is going to get ready to fire.
I would probably, as quickly as I can, pull out my own rifle and aim and go to fire.
Go ahead. This is going to be finesse. Go nuts.
Finesse? Okay.
Actually, no. This is opening fire on each other. This will be force.
Okay, cool.
It's not quick drawing on each other. Get a beat.
It is a little quick drawing, but it is much more. Shots are being fired both directions either way.
Yeah.
That's close. 6.
6?
How is that close?
How is that close? That's a fail.
I thought it was 5. Oops. That's fine.
Unfortunately, Dan and Sean were gifted advantage. Halifax, you were not. As you start to open fire, you realize quickly that you're outmatched. You take a few shots, and they sort of hunker down to avoid, which stops Impact from firing. But Beza, if you recall, also had a gun and is going to pull that now. And between the two of them, they very quickly outdo you. A hail of fire gets to you guys through the open door, and I'm going to need you. I think right now they'll be targeting both of you. Sean, do you have a way to defend yourself before
powering and throwing myself to the side?
You're close enough.
It probably would have been a shove away kind of deal to kind of get you out of the way.
You're shooting, so unfortunately, with a failure, I can't give you that.
Yeah.
Sean,
I'll
they're shooting through the corridor, so you can roll finesse to try and dodge out of the way first, since you can literally dive to the side and you're out of their line of sight. So
I did mention that I have a -1 finesse, right?
If you want to take the hit and just roll brace, you can brace instead.
So that is a 5 -1, 4. So
brace for impact, my friend. Both of you brace for impact.
All right.
Oh God.
Yeah, my reaction time to physical conflict is not great because I'm like trying to explain what's going on. Oh, but you see, he
11.
must have took his helmet off.
11. That's phenomenal. That's very, very good.
I'm a sturdy boy. I have
That is a-
thick earth rock skin.
That is a 9. I mean,
A 9.
8 plus 1 because of the armor.
Which means you take the hit as it stands. The good news is, well, no.
No,
This is
There's
gonna
not a
be
lot of good. There's not a
no
lot of good news here.
This is going to be minimum of severe. Most like ranged weaponry is severe.
Yeah, severe is the third one. It's minor, major, severe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
These are especially Impact's rifle, and you've been told how dangerous Impact is. He's a sharpshooter. Whereas, so they both kind of open fire on you guys. And you both clock a couple of hits before you are forced to kind of dodge out of the way. You both, so Halifax, with a successful brace, you take a major instead of a severe. Your armor, as you're hit, I let you choose where you want to be hit, because that's my favorite move of getting hit. But your armor soaks a lot of it. It is a major wound wherever you're hit. And Sean, Roe is going to get blasted. A huge gaping cavity opens up, and you just get to tell me where.
Roe basically has no knee anymore. Like he has been cut out from under him. Just blam, face forward, big spray of blood behind, leg hanging useless.
Cool.
Like lower leg hanging useless.
Cool.
As
That's going to make
as a
running
note,
very good.
yeah, as a note, this is design-wise, severe is basically organ or limb, your choice.
Yep.
So I'm going to choose limb.
Limit is.
Right leg is, destroyed.
You come tumbling to the ground, and your leg hits a moment later, as this just rips a hole through your knee. Halifax, what about you?
I'm gonna say it's more of like a chest or stomach wound, maybe.
Okay, I'm gonna call this, because your armor soaks it, it's okay to have an abdomen wound. If you hadn't had armor that would have punched a hole in your stomach, you'd be dead in minutes. But because you have the armor, you know your armor is thick as you muscle a shot, scorched very, very badly. You are like woozy. Every step you take is going to make you a little bit dizzier. It is bad, but it is not fatal. You both kind of tumble away to the side a little bit. Actually, Ro, you go down. I just lost my background again.
Hi, green screen.
Yeah.
No longer in space.
I forgot what
It's
happened.
okay.
My laptop turned on, signed into this for me, and because it signed in, it's like, oh, you're not actually here, and it signed me off, so I can't use the features.
Oh no, rats.
Oh,
That's
well.
okay.
Technology
Technology indeed.
doing exactly as you were programmed to do.
Curses.
Ro, you collapse down. You are, I would say, still in immediate danger.
Yeah.
But Halifax, you can at least jump off to the side to get out of the way a little bit. Once they've downed you guys, they continue running towards the end of the hallway.
Where's me?
What are you guys doing?
I'm going to try to crawl myself on my arms and one remaining knee while.
I'm going to say you can effortlessly get... Not effortlessly, obviously.
Yeah.
You can get
it's
out
just
of danger.
one long yell, just like he doesn't know how to process this properly, so it's just like vocal cords are on, and there's just like static coming from it. Just, and yeah, I leave like a smear as.
I should mention, if you wanted to, I don't hate to retcon, you did have an advantage, Sean, if you wanted to throw it.
No, too late.
All right,
Too late.
fair enough.
I roll with the dice.
Sean's too purist about his system to roll with advantage. You can crawl out of the way. You're out of danger for a moment. When they reach the end of the corridor, you're going to be immediately back in danger again.
I'm going to pull out my dumb stunner pistol that I got when I first left the academy. The kind of thing that, you get because you're going on safari, kind of like thing, and just be like, well...
Your bear spray.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they said that they would last me for the rest of my life. Lifetime warranty, so...
Put it to the test. And Halifax?
He's gonna drop the rifle, gonna unsheath the Star Sword. Is there a way to mess with like the mechanics of the door for it to malfunction and shut off?
Maybe. Roll expertise. Let's see how we do.
Okay. This is actually more my steez. So let's
Working with mechanics. We talked about this. Let's do it.
God, that's a 1. Oh no. What's this one gonna be? A 5. 8.
8. Okay. Mixed success. I'm going to say, but between your Star Sword and your expertise, you recognize what you can do. You can basically chop this thing down. It's gonna take a second. Someone's gonna get through.
I'm hopefully going to take them out when they come through, because I'm basically pointing at the door, and the first thing that runs through is getting stunned.
Fantastic.
That's a risk I'd be willing to take.
You hack. You watch as Impact slides under the door as it comes down. You see who else was in Beza, Impact, Row, and Halcyon.
Yeah.
You watch as Halcyon makes a dive and is cut in half by the door, as you've been warned happens. Silver splatters everywhere as he melts immediately down into the floor, and Impact comes barreling out. Sean, roll plus force to see if you can...
Get it! Get
Some
that
plus
advantage!
years. Oh yes, I'm spending my advantage.
Yes!
Get it.
Double 6.
Double
And a 1,
sixes!
but that's
Hell
not-
yeah! Advantage, double sixes.
Nice.
He comes out, immediately turns to who he believes to be the graver of the threats, which would be Halifax. Halifax,
Yep.
you are squaring up and back of the head, stun blast. Immediately drops. He's not dead, it's a stun gun, but he is going to be down for long enough that you can get the situation under control.
Chop his head off.
Huh?
Chop his head off.
All right, Doctor.
And at this point, the blood loss is making me a little loopy, and then he lying on the wait. Put garlic in his mouth, then chop his head off.
With a swift, a deft blow of your Star Sword. With a 12, I'm not going to need to make any other rolls for this. He starts to look up, and you just head comes off, disintegrates into nanodust, vanishes into the floor, and behind the door is Beza and Ro. And Ro looks at the door and starts tinkering to try and get through.
Damn it! Damn me!
Let me cut.
What's Ro's expertise?
Oh my god.
It's not as good as my intellect, but I'll be able to work it out eventually. It's plus
Let
1.
me cut back into the room. In the chamber, as the doors shut, leaving Talon, Halcyon, Farah, Jack, Gammon, Merrick. In there.
And Silas.
And Silas. No. Not Silas. Of note, you didn't see Silas leave.
Yeah.
You think maybe Silas bailed when the death trap came up and said, you know what, I'm gonna dunk. I'm gonna dip. So Silas is not there.
Mm-hmm.
And the voice chimes out and goes, there.
Now, what was your question? Oh, right, that one's gone.
The question, I believe, was, who are you?
And why are you doing this?
There we go. Thank you.
Rude of you to assume I'm a who. Nonetheless, I am all that...
Is what's more acceptable?
Somehow, yes. I don't have a name as far as you're concerned, but given that I've been the puppet master behind your last several hours, I suppose you can call me a Rundi. People tend to before the end. It's what they beg to before they die.
Okay.
Can I make like an intellect, like a face adversity intelligence, to see if I recognize.
Sorry, go on.
To see if I recognize that name. Like, is it a
What's the castle's
dialect?
It's the name of the castle. And no, it does not ring true with anything you would have seen before. This is uncharted, undiscovered stuff. He goes,
Any other questions, or can I go back to my work?
Why are you doing? Well, what's your work?
That
sounds very interesting.
The castle needs college employees, people to operate the finer points of the system. And those employees come from you. I believe in calling them copies.
Yes.
They help me expand, help me grow, help me live, sustain what is, and grow into what comes next.
That's cool. I'm happy for you. Why do you need to keep us if you already have them?
Well, they're
because you warn others.
Exactly. They have your skills. They can fly your ship. They can go where they please and bring back who they please. It's been a while since we've had a good crop. And now, we have 2 starships for the price of 1. One of them's already taken off. The other one, well, we'll get there. They're not far.
So somebody landed here after us.
Before.
No, the other ship.
Yeah.
Impact and
Then who took off?
ship. Copies of them.
Right.
There were many of their crew that died before you arrived. Sometimes it's that simple. But sometimes, people come here. When your curiosity gets the best of you, well...
Believe me, I know all about that. So, have you been able to... How have you been tracking our progress? Was it through the eyes and ears of the copies? Or through the ears of the walls?
Please. I don't see why I would be giving you more information now. Everything I've told you up to this point has been harmless since you're not going to be escaping, but I'm not looking for...
Well, then everything you tell us is harmless if we're not going to be escaping.
Exactly.
Give me an influence check, Talon.
Can be an advantage because I'm helping him.
With your negative influence?
With your negative intelligence? No.
If you would like to get involved with your influence, yes, but you would need a roll for that.
That's a biscuit I'm not going to risk it for.
You do have advantage, Jen.
I do.
That's a 9.
9.
I have a +0. I have a 0 influence.
Nice.
He's going to say...
Soon. Let's not forget that not all of you are here. Once I'm sure that there's no one you could be talking to, then I can divulge that information. But as long as it's you still have pawns on the board, well, I'll be keeping my mouth shut about the specifics that could aid those pawns.
That is a need for proof, basically. If you can prove to him that you are harmless with his information, then he will give it to you. But until then, he's not going to touch that.
Okay.
Okay. Next question. Since we're all waiting for the same thing, the rest of our crew to get here. Were you always this castle?
No. No, of course not. This castle was built atop me. It was built over me. It was built on this planet by people who barely knew how to walk, let alone fly. But they noticed me. I'm hard to miss. They found me beneath the crust of this place, and they wanted to say hello, wanted to dig me up. I wanted that too. So, I waited. But their tools, their equipment, it wasn't strong enough. They couldn't get to me, not really. But they could open a crack. just a little one to slip through. And slip through I did. So, I've been slipping through, and I need others to help me. I need that crack to widen. I need to break this place apart so that I can finally get out and see what the rest of the universe has to offer.
So you have... I just want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. You have always been what you currently are.
No response.
Were
Silence.
you like trapped down there? Like someone put you there, or did you just like come into existence down there?
This is where I've always been.
Okay, cool.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
What do you want to do when you get out? I mean, it's pretty cool out there, admittedly. I can understand wanting to see the galaxy and everything. I, for one, have very similar interests.
What do I want to do?
The same thing they have been doing.
No.
He prefers a what?
This is a means to an end. I've seen how people respond to everything. I've seen their fear and their love. I've seen it all. And it all leads to death. All to destruction. We can do so much better than that. The
Well-
lives you lead are meaningless compared to what could be.
Are you talking about immortality?
A word that took me a long time to comprehend. The idea that life is sustained through a fraction of time seemed inane to me. I don't live in the way you do. I simply exist, and I have, and I will. The fact that you suffer and die is the greatest sign of weakness I've ever seen.
But that's what I'm talking about. You want to make us immortal. You want to end death for us.
It's not nearly as noble as you seem to think I feel.
Oh, no. You misunderstand me, my friend. I do not consider that nobility.
Then we are on the same page.
But I mean, why? You could just leave and go do your thing. Why, even care about us?
Actually,
Once you're out of here.
Jack comes back. She has been doing scans all over the room and just like pointing
yeah.
her little device at
I've been
things.
waiting for Jack to do something.
And she comes back and goes, actually, I don't know if it can. What we're seeing, the nanotechnology that's been going on here, is this entity. It exists within it. And the crack it's talking about that's been seeping out of, we're seeing the tiniest fraction. She holds up her little device, and it shows like a little kind of graph, and you see the energy readings, and you see like little blips in the place. She goes, it's the equivalent of drops of water from a rainstorm. It's maybe a couple of raindrops as opposed to the entire tsunami. It's too big to be contained by the vastness of space. It's planet-sized, and that's when it's being crushed down to a small space.
So if it were to get out, it would like spread throughout the entire galaxy, universe, something like that?
I am curious to see if the universe could even contain what I am.
Probably not.
Ferris.
Jack.
So, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, go, please.
So, Jack, you said that this is a tsunami of sorts. Is there any way to introduce a drought?
Immediately, like, Jack starts to, like, think in a million miles per minute. And sort of looks to the machine, looks back to you guys, and goes, oh, I don't know why I turned the voice on for Jack. That's not... and just says, there has to be. I came and found you after I got out. Let me cut back, because it's possible you guys will not be alone for very long. Let me cut back to my folks who are outside. You have just beheaded Impact Secundo. And now Rose Secundo, I can't believe I'm saying doing this now, is working to try and raise the door. You broke a lot of the hardware on the door, Hal, so it's going to take time if it's even possible, but Ro is working on it. What are you two
So are the copies still in that room with the originals?
They are in the hallway. The hallway between the room and the...
Okay.
Cool.
So, we run away, right? We're not gonna try to go in there? Is that... maybe the best option?
Well, there's only me and I keep forgetting her name, the bug.
Beza.
Beza left. There's only me and Beza left. If you're running alone, and they'll stop to deal with me before they chase you. So that'll give you a little bit of extra time. There's no way that I'm running. I mean, it is impossible at this point.
I mean, if you had wanted to, would you? Is probably a better question.
I'm always down for running, yes. But as I said, if you think that you can deal with Beza, you will find me no trouble to deal with afterwards. And I think that you are better than her when you're not outgunned.
Do you want to go in the big scary room or not?
They were coming out to stop us. That's not true, but I don't know that. They were coming out to stop us. Therefore, we stymie whatever plans there were. It's obvious that our friends have other copies with them. We were with them until we got separated. We need to save them. They may need saving from themselves. Oh, I can't believe I made that joke. I am losing blood quickly. I apologize for that.
No, you're good.
I say, since running is not an option, I will go down fighting. If you want me to give you a chance to escape, it would be my honor. If you want to stand next to me, it would also be my honor.
Alright, well, you see, at the academy you learn not to leave a man behind. So if I am leaving, you are coming with me regardless. So, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stab whoever comes through, and then I'm going to carry you out of here. Is that fair?
Fair. I can't stop you.
Beep beep. The door opens.
Stab.
Beza comes.
Stab at will.
Beza comes out with like just like kind of like energy knife, which they are going to stab at you with. And they have like a pistol drawn that they're aiming at Roby. You see kind of the whole thing happen in slow motion. Go ahead and roll force with advantage, please, for a reason you'll see in a moment.
Me?
Yes.
Wow.
Certainly not going to be me.
Alright, so that's cool. So that is yes. Please give me good rolls. Please give me good rolls. Alright, amazing. Yes, yes, yes. That is a 12.
Beza is so much faster than you thought she was, and for a second you think you're not going to make it. A stun hits Beza in the back, slowing her down, and you manage to get her in time. Other Ro, stands behind her with the smoking stun gun and goes, "It's me! It's me! Ro, you have control of your copy."
Oh shit! What?
Other than your copy putting his hands up, the rest he is fully in your control again.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. You might want to explain it to Sean, because I think he's confused.
Sean, do you know what's going on?
Oh, right. Because
Sean, you have control of your copy.
Okay.
So whatever actions the copy is going to take with a comrade is up to you, kind of deal.
No. I'm understanding that. I understand. I have control of both. I'm trying to now
Figure out
suss
why.
out. I'm going to suss that this is Ro being like.
Yeah.
Both Ro's like are looking at each other, and like Ro Prime is just like, not that I'm complaining, but this does not make sense. You're able to break yourself free of, I'm assuming, programming.
I will actually answer this one if that's cool.
Yes.
He's going to say, I didn't break myself free. That was a decision. When I was being fully controlled, it didn't have access to my mind. It needed to set me free for me to open that door. And I don't think it's noticed that I'm done yet.
Fantastic. Keep running those thoughts through your head of how the algorithm of the door works. You know, go nuts and come here. A three-legged row is better than a 1 and 2.
Incredible. Yeah, you help yourself up.
Just keep, start quizzing myself on exactly those the door numbers of like, okay, what if it's logarithmic? What programs would you use then? And just keep his mind working so
Fantastic.
that if it's trying to break in, it's like, no, your mind is still occupied breaking the door.
If that becomes if it becomes relevant where the controller attempts to be seized back, I will have the be a roll, but for now it's not necessary.
Right.
So rows are up. Everyone else who's coming out of that door is dead.
All right.
What do you do?
That hallway is like clear now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one door's open.
Yeah.
It's like it's still open? Like the far end door? Or is it
Not the
just
far end one.
the main
one that was
door?
The one close to you is still open because Copy Road has
Yes.
forced it open.
Yeah.
Cool.
But the other one at the far end is closed.
Cool. Ooh.
Ro's just chuckling, like Ro Prime is just chuckling to himself, and the other one is like, "Don't say it." Like, if I stood on your shoulders, we'd be a column, not a row.
God damn it.
So you were controlled. Why were you running?
I'm assuming that it's because we were controlled to set out. I don't know what the thought was. I was just released. Like there's no memory of reasonings behind decisions made, right? During the time that they were under control, they were mind blanked, I assume.
Not even mind blanked, but you don't understand the reasoning. You are correct.
Yeah, it's just
you do know the others are in there.
yeah. But your friends are in there, and they're gonna die.
Okay.
Right. When we get to the other door, Ro Prime's just like, lay me down here. Get your stunner pistol out, and here. Pulls out his own, gives it. Ro looks at the other. Ro looks. Really? You think that we were gonna do 2-pistol shooting? Really? Okay, fine. It was a dumb idea.
As you go to this was Ro Secundo handing his pistol to Ro Prime.
No. Ro Prime, because he's like, put me down, take my pistol. You're gonna go in there and play the role of me.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Okay.
It's just, and Rose Secundus just says, I think as soon as we go back into that room, it'll realize that I'm no longer in control and reassert. For our own safety, I'm going to have to stun myself now. I don't think I could fight it again.
Is there a way before anything else happens that, at least for Ro Prime, is there a way to kind of keep the blood from not pouring out of his body and him dying?
The good news is it was a plasma rifle that's melted shut. He's not dying.
Wonderful.
He will need medical attention. There's going to be infections. It's going to be bad, but he's not like in immediate risk of death.
Amazing.
That would be a
Just
critical
wanted to
wound.
I wanted to make sure.
Absolutely.
Yes, fortunately, it's not an ongoing issue. I mean, having only one leg is an ongoing issue, but yeah. So,
It seems pretty clear that once we go in there is no exit. So why are we going in? Is there, other than for the fact that we're going in there to save people, like save our comrades and our crewmates, but if there's no exit out, why would we go in there with no plan?
Well, to be fair, you have a door jammed open.
A door, but it's not the main door to be like the most concerned about. At least how I'm thinking of it. There's like the hallway door that's open, and then like the hallway, and then the main entrance to the room that is closed currently. So unless there is a way to keep this one open.
Well, you kept the other one open.
Okay, Rosagundus and Ro Prime both nod to each other, coming to the same decision at the same time. They need to escape. We all need to escape. That's it. This area is locked up tight.
Mhm.
All we need to do is open this door and make sure it cannot close until our allies get through.
And Ro, you know how to do that. You just
Yes. Yes. I just figured it out. So all we need you to do is. So Rosagundus just licks his like fish lips, and and just says, "When the door opens, they'll know that they'll try to take control of me again. Hal, stand behind me and get your sword ready." And Rosagundus turns and opens up the panel that he used to force open the door. Hal, I'm trusting you to do this now.
Mhm.
No second thoughts. And Ro on the floor, who is like holding his legs, just nods and just like, I hope that I show this kind of bravery when my time comes.
Meanwhile, just the sheer thought that Halifax has to stab like someone that is closely resembling a crewmate in the back, like especially like the Prime on the floor. If you're looking down at his like hands, they're slightly shaking over the star blade.
If I may interject. Sorry, go ahead. Tom.
I was just gonna make a joke of, I just had a vision of Ro Prime nodding to Ro Secundo and go, I'm a good man.
No, I was gonna say, on a more serious note, as Ro Prime says, I hope I face with my kind of bravery. If I may take just a second to have, as Ro Secundo is opening the door and kind of thinks about this and looks back and knowingly says, "You will." The door opens. Halifax.
Ro Prime closes his eyes.
Fuck.
Rosagundus is specifically looking at the wall and is just like thinking about algorithms and stuff like that. He's still going through he's like,
it's gonna be a firm press, and it's gonna be like in like skin muscle level, but it's not gonna be fully like sheathed in yet, I think. Just like if that's the thing.
It needs to go through him and into the console to keep it open. Remember how you destroy the console?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then yes, just like, oh god.
Yep, you need to take care of him and the console simultaneously.
Destroyed. There's a moment of sudden, when the door opens in the room and you guys see that door open, and you guys see Ro there, and then you see Ro melt into silver, and the voice goes,
What just... Oh, clever.
yeah?
Yes, Dan.
I was just gonna say,
Guys,
what's clever here is that you made a mistake. Bye-bye.
Ro from his seated position, don't taunt it, just run.
And as you guys run for the door, that is what we're gonna call it for the evening.
I figured, yes.
It's had to be.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Face sequence.
Y'all, what a sesh. Everyone in the audience, thanks so much for hanging out. Next week, I can pretty much guarantee 2 weeks from now should be the conclusion of the Castle Arundi saga. It'd fucking better be. 3 seems to be the magic number with you guys.
Really?
3 seems to be the magic number with you guys. These arcs have pretty much consistently taken 3 sessions to get through.
This one's already been through. This is the third one. For this.
You sort of arrived at the planet at the end of a session. You didn't really get into the castle until So,
Fair.
and who knows? Maybe it'll only take half session to get off, so it'll really be a full throw. Alright, let's go find someone we can raid really quick. Raiding is very helpful for the channel and bring more viewers, and also because it's nice to support other Twitch streamers. So, we'll do that. Are we planning on doing a one-off next week? Sean?
Let me check to make sure. Possibly. I would be free, I think. If anyone of you guys are available.
We'll say possibly. Keep your eyes on the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, if you scroll down to the About section in my page, there's a little link to it. If someone's copied that link into the chat, I'd be grateful. You can do that as well. Come to the Discord. We have lots of fun chat and also announcements for what is happening when. But otherwise, we'll be back on the main stream in 2 weeks. Anyone else have anything?
Do we want to do XP before we raid?
Oh, God, yes. Yes. We absolutely want to do experience.
Yay!
Absolutely. This is great. So let's start with Dan. Did we hit your trigger?
I have a fascinating phenomenon is explained. I do believe.
Oh, absolutely. I should hope so.
The most fascinating phenomenon.
100%.
The T-1000, but an eldritch horror. Has been found.
Yeah, fantastic. You love to see it. Yes. Sean.
A word starts or ends a fight. I just realized that actually isn't true anymore because didn't we level up last session?
Yes.
Yeah, I did. I forgot to give myself my level up, so I didn't get my new track.
I will come back to you.
Yeah.
But we can assume
I don't think
nothing
I did yet either.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe then actually let's redact. Let's do this at the beginning of next session. Someone remind me for sure.
Yeah.
We are going to raid a little place called Valor Studios. They are doing something called Drop Site, the Ascended episode 15. It is labeled with both cyberpunk and superheroes.
Someone just came and started raiding us.
Oh no! Well, we'll get on the raiding train. Hello, Trouble Gal is my brother's wife, Lauren. Lauren and company, welcome. We just finished, so unfortunately we're not going to be hanging out much longer. But if anyone wants to give it a follow for wacky sci-fi adventures in the future, 2 weeks from now, sure to be wild. So,
also watch the VOD.
Come over and watch the VOD. I will be uploading the 2 one-offs we ran. I just downloaded. I'll be uploading them to YouTube tomorrow. So if you missed the one-offs and want to get on what those are about, it's no longer one-offs. It's going to be just full-blown.
Secondary.
It's a secondary campaign.
Alt campaign.
Basically, I don't know. We'll talk more about this later, but we need to figure out a character for you for that campaign because it is going to be happening sometimes. It'll be good.
It's basically whenever we can't have the full group and we need it for the main campaign, it's kind of like the extras on a completely different storyline. So whoever can make it, so.
All right, so we'll stay on the call. We'll talk to you about it afterwards. Let's raid Valor Studios. They're doing a cyberpunk and superhero thing, and I'm very excited about that. As usual, I will be disconnecting just to go be active in raid, and I'll come back to the chat in a minute. But y'all, what a great session. Y'all rule. And everyone, thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Still, that's what
we are...